Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Was that really playing the Vegas?
Yeah, we did it.
And you
I
see
put my glasses on. How does
see-
this look, by the way? I'm curious.
it looked cool. You see a little slot machine at the end with all
I
the
liked it. You know, do you want to talk about what you did last night?
Tom?
You want to tell him,
No,
Tom?
don't look at
Go ahead,
him,
Tom.
Tom.
Don't look at
Yeah,
Adam.
this wasn't me. I behaved.
They went to after hours.
Yeah,
Tom
what'd you
last
do?
night.
Playing craps on the table in his boxers.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part was when you called me at 3 o'clock, said, come grab Tom. He's playing $1,000 slot machines. And I go down, and Tom is saying he's got a paper and pen and a board.
Yep.
He's doing the math on how many pulls he'll get. And by the way, he
exactly.
hit $188,000 on one of them.
But then lost almost $500,000, and it was like, no, the Lord's telling me to.
No, that was a prop bet. It was a prop bet.
Anyways,
I
look.
bet that AOC could identify Iran on a map.
And he kept yelling, words talk, ladies scream, words talk, ladies scream. Like, Tom.
He got.
Relax.
Anyway,
Actually,
all right.
it's a new T-shirt.
We got a few things to talk about. Yesterday, Dorsey let go of, I think, 4,000 people in the most unique way possible, in the most honest way possible. And he tweeted about it. That got 50 million views. And you have to see, for some of you guys that are seeing what's going on with AI, and he just kind of came up with his company Block that used to be called Square. We'll talk about that. Hillary Clinton yesterday went up there and she made an argument why that picture of Ghislaine Maxwell being at her daughter's wedding was a fake, but she actually accepted it, said she was there, and deposition took 6 hours. Somebody, what's her name? Lauren Boebert took a picture, sent it to Benny. Benny posted it. They had to pause it. There's some thoughts on that as well, on whether that was a good idea or not. I think Bill Clinton, her husband, is being deposed today, Rob. Am I saying that correctly?
Correct.
It's going to happen today. And then Bill Gates had another rough last 48 hours. And Lutnick, there was a picture that came up that allegedly they tried to protect from being leaked, and this picture looks strange. And some are saying, wait a minute, was he on the island with his kids? Was he not on the island with his kids? Now Comer is coming out saying that maybe he's going to be held as well to come up and be deposed to answer those questions. Who knows what's going on? World Economic Forum CEO had to resign, and he had to quit. Netflix, the last minute, they pulled their deal. They're like, we're not going to be able to compete. Paramount's going to be coming in. There's a bunch of stuff that Larry Ellison and David Ellison are about to pick up Paramount. That means CNN could potentially be changing in a major way. There's communication being leaked, email and text communication from CNN employees saying, we are effed at CNN. Can you imagine how some of the people feel right now working over there? There's a lot of scary things that's going on at CNN. Some like it, some don't like it. Who knows what's going to happen? I think somebody even had to pay a $2.8 billion cancellation fee, Rob, if I'm not mistaken, that had to be paid to Netflix, right? The $2.8 billion. Tom, I'm speaking to you.
Yes.
The $2.8 billion that had to be paid on.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's called a breakup fee.
Yeah,
and
the $2.8 billion.
Big money.
Yeah. So that was, Tom, again, we have a rule with Tom. We're thinking about making a shirt for Tom that says, Tom,
3 times.
because Tom is, honestly, how accurate is that? You have to say his name 3 times or else he won't.
It's like
if you run into him, but if you call him Biz Doc, he shines within the first second. He'll say hi to you. But when we say Tom, we got to say 3 times here. All right. So then aside from that, we'll talk about the Netflix. We'll talk about the Block and Square. Mamdani's got some stuff that's going on. Newsom's got some stuff that's going on. What do you call it? Jonathan Majors is apparently making an acting comeback for a movie with Daily Wire, which, by the way, if that's true, and I think Ben came out and said it's real, I think Jonathan Majors is a good actor. And that's a good thing to see stuff like that happening where guys are comfortable going back and forth on doing different movies. And then aside from that, we got some Iran news. Apparently, a lot of people are saying that the communist China is getting Iran's back, but a report just came out 2 hours ago that not only are U.S. pulling people out, guess who else is pulling people out of Iran right now? China.
Weird.
China is telling their own people, listen, get out. Something's about to happen to Iran. And who knows? They've been saying this for a while. So whether that's going to be happening right now or later, we don't know. And then Robert De Niro, for some of you guys that are big fans of his movies, Heat, or what is it, Godfather, or a couple of the comedy movies that he did. He was very emotional. I know you guys are, feeling bad about it. He was very
Casino
emotional
here in Vegas.
Yeah, he was very emotional because of what happened with what do you call it? With Trump. He's got some advice for you guys. It's resist Trump is what he had to say. And, hopefully you guys will listen to it because he was very, very sentimental and emotional about it. And then the Hulk, who's the other guy? The Hulk, Mark Ruffalo.
Markey.
Yeah, he was furious, about the wealth tax, saying, listen, we got to tax the rich people in New York. And we'll see what his thoughts are. Ted Sarandos, CEO of Netflix, went to the White House. Some are saying, did he meet with the president? Everyone's saying he didn't meet with the president. And Netflix, some people are sitting there saying, look, Trump said remove Susan Rice off your board, and she started it based on what Tom was telling me yesterday, and then they didn't. So because of not pulling them off, then what comes back to it is, maybe that was one of the reasons some people are speculating. Who knows? Who knows what the reasonings are? But we will get into that. Okay, having said that, before we get into all these stories, Rob, what do we have here? Which one is this?
USA Collection.
Okay, so USA Collection is what we got right now. Rob, if you want to play the clip, go for it.
If you love this country, show it. Lead with pride in the Valuetainment USA Collection. Designed for freedom thinkers, built for everyday leaders. Red, white, blue. Purpose. Wear what you believe in. Valuetainment USA.
Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Valuetainment USA merch that we have there. And again, like I said, I love seeing our folks, the best of the best, the smartest fans in the world. You that likes debate, that likes fun. You're a valuetainment type of person yourself. If you believe the future looks bright and you love USA, go pick up some merch for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for your clients. Having said that, Lex, did audio get fixed or no?
They're working on it right now.
What's the issue with audio?
It's coming through with one channel.
Which means what?
So people are able to hear it in, it's coming through mono, so they're able to hear it in one channel, not the other side. So like right side of your earphones, you can hear it, left side you can't, but they're adjusting right now.
So if people are watching with earbuds on their phone, they can only hear one ear. Didn't we test that out
before? We were testing that before.
Yes,
no?
I'm not sure what happened here.
Guys, can we get an update? Can one of you guys come in and give us an update? We're live, so this is a live show. When stuff like this happens, come and tell us something.
And I hear reverb.
Tell me, what's going on?
We're trying to figure out, but we only have one left, the right channel going out right now. We're going to double it up.
Okay. All right. So let's see what's going to happen, folks. Stick around. We're trying to figure it out. Rob, when you're hearing the audio, how's it sound? How bad is it?
It sounds good in one channel. It's just the other channel it's not coming through on right now.
Okay. All right. So then let's get right into it. Let's do which story should we start off with? If that's the case, we'll get to the Hillary Clinton one. Let's start off with the Bill Gates story here. So Bill Gates, another rough week for him. Story came out with Bill Gates having to apologize to his staff over Epstein ties. Okay. So he had to come out and apologize to his staff about Epstein ties, and as well as apparently two other Russian girls that came out. I don't know what these Russian girl stories are. And then his wife had to. Anyways, just watch this clip here for yourself.
Turned out to Microsoft founder Bill Gates his eye-opening apology for his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a town hall meeting with employees, Gates admitting to 2 affairs with Russian women and what he says about the photos of him in the Epstein files. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates revealing more damaging information about his personal life and admitting to a series of stunning lapses in judgment in building a relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Today, the fallout growing as Gates was pressed by employees at a Gates Foundation town hall. According to the Wall Street Journal, which revealed audio of the meeting, Gates told employees it was a huge mistake to spend time with Epstein. He acknowledged that his relationship with Epstein began after Epstein was convicted of soliciting a minor. And he claimed that he, one of the wealthiest men in the world, did not properly research Epstein's background or would have revealed his sordid past. Knowing what I know now makes it, 100 times worse. Gates acknowledged his association probably helped Epstein rehabilitate his image. And he revealed other damning specifics, saying the men flew together on a private jet and that they hung out in Germany, France, New York, and Washington. But Gates was adamant that he never witnessed any criminal activity. But Gates did acknowledge he had affairs with 2 Russian women. And Gates also addressed these photos, saying they were pictures Epstein asked him to take with his assistants. His ex-wife recently saying Gates needs to answer questions.
Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
David Gates' indiscretions contributed to the failure of his marriage. And tonight, another powerful man suffering the consequences of his ties to Epstein. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers resigning from Harvard because of his relationship with Epstein. David?
Pierre Thomas, who continues to cover the Epstein case for us.
Embarrassing. By the way, all these things used to be a conspiracy theory, if you think about it, a few years ago. And now, all of a sudden, Larry Summers, oh, no, Harvard, that would never happen to us. Vinny, your thoughts on this?
I mean, and Adam, I have to go right to you. And I know I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Do you remember when we were like, is this Epstein thing on the top of every... Nobody cares. And this is the #1 story, Adam, because look at how deep this web of disgusting, demonic people are. And mind you, I feel so bad for his wife, Pat. She's been telling us for how long? She goes, the one time I met Jeffrey Epstein, he was abhorrent. He was evil personified. This is an educated woman. I don't know her faith, Pat. I don't know if she's Christian. I don't know if she's Buddhist. I don't know. I don't care. For her to say that she felt that goes deep. And I want to say one thing. He's a liar. Bill Gates is a liar, and this is the same person that all of us were told to trust
it was also
for COVID, for putting this experimental freaking vaccine in our bodies. And now, I'm going to get to that story later on, Pat. Cancer is up, colon cancer is up, turbo cancer is up. People are dying left and right, and we trusted these people, and I'm so happy you said that, Pat. We were called that name, those names that we were these tinfoil hat crazy people. We've been screaming this forever, and we were told to shut up. We were kicked off of freaking YouTube. We were kicked off of social media, and now everybody's slowly coming around. People are getting fired. People are stepping down. None of them are going to jail. Okay, I think it's disgusting. And Adam, we talked about this yesterday when you're like, Vinny, I don't see the proof. Adam, this is what we caught them doing. Imagine what we didn't catch them doing, Adam, because if they knew they could get away with that, imagine in those rooms. Imagine those poor freaking kids getting flown around. Okay, maybe this time he was with, young Russian hookers. What else? Maybe this 1 month he was into something deeper, something more disgusting. Okay, and it drives me crazy. I'm so happy it's starting to come out now. But these people, these demons, need to be held accountable, Pat. Not just, oh, I'm stepping down from my job and I'm sorry. No. Accountability, jail time, and more consequences if need be.
Yeah. Tom, your thoughts?
So I don't need to say more about Bill Gates. There used to be publications in Silicon Valley, Valleywag and others, and you'd be able to go to like Buck's Diner and places that were in Silicon Valley. And let me explain why that's relevant. There was always these rumors that Gates had this other side of him. And the phrase people used to use, there's another side to Bill Gates. You know that, right? There's this guy who appears on the big screen and actually helped Apple at Steve Jobs' request with some financing, did that, and that was good. And then there was the other side, the other Bill. And so I don't want to say more about that other than to say where there's smoke, there's fire, and a lot of people talking about this and rumors, and now we have the guy confessing with the Russian girls and other things. It's just gooey. But I'll tell you who I want to praise. Cool. I want to praise the poise of Melinda French Gates. Melinda French Gates, as you know, Pat and I lived in Dallas for about 8 years before moving to Florida, and she graduated from Ursuline Academy, which is a wonderful school, private school that is in Dallas. She gave money to the school to create a science center, and interestingly enough, you'll find this interesting, Adam, it was named the French Family Science Center at Ursuline. Mm-hmm. And she also gave them the largest grant they ever had in history, like in 2005, 2006. There have been supplemental grants, also a center for professional career development. And so she's been pouring into these girls there. So when we're sitting in Dallas, we could read news stories and talk to people, and we felt like we really had a good picture of Melinda French. And I feel like America needs to give her a collective hug. She was married to a guy that's under the spotlight, and she called it the muck. And you know what, Melinda, wherever you are, thank you for what you've done. I hope this doesn't cause you to shy back from your public service and all the things that you've done. Anybody in your situation would probably want to sit back with a cup of coffee and pull the drapes and just ignore the world. But what she did and what she's at and the poise in these interviews, I got a lot of respect for her.
So, they say the truth will set you free. So I'm totally understanding that this truth will come out, and the roosters will come home to roost, as they say. You know, last night we were talking about on the plane on the way here about the shows that we watch in the 90s, right? We're talking about Save the Bell. We're talking about Beverly Hills 90210 and Belrose Place and all that. What's my point? In the 90s, you know, it was here today, gone tomorrow. None of this stuff would come out. If you did stuff in the 90s and 2000s, there wasn't one thing that we all have today, and that's the internet, and that's cell phones.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be exposed. So if you do something stupid and wrong, back in the day, you could get away with it.
You could stuff the news media.
You could bury that. Now everything's coming out. And I'm cool with that. I'm not defending any of these people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whether it's Epstein, whether it's Bill Cosby, whether it's Diddy, whether it's Weinstein, all these things that people were doing pre-internet, it's all coming out. And so what's my point? Today, young people are going to learn a lesson. We see people doing stuff on the internet. What do they say? The internet's going to last forever. So what's a lesson that young people can learn from the Epsteins of the world, the Cosbys of the world? You do something stupid, it's going to be on the internet forever. The thing that's going on here is, if there was the internet or social media 15, 20, 30 years ago, all this stuff would have come out then.
Yeah.
It's all coming out now. The question is it all too little, too late? We're going to find out.
Yeah, but going to the point, from Adam, just from emails that are legitimate Department of Justice emails, the guy is disgusting. Adam, put this in your head. He allegedly gave his wife an STD from Russian hookers and then was asking Jeffrey Epstein, how do I slip, give me some medicine so I can slip in her drink without her knowing to fix her. This is the guy that with the WHO and all these people, we let this guy take care of our health. And anytime you try to talk about him negatively, everybody, all the mainstream media, all the talk shows made us look like we were insane. And
remember, that's allegedly. You got to say allegedly.
I said allegedly 5 times. No, Tom, I said allegedly. It's in the Department of Justice emails. It's in these emails. So going back to my point, Adam, can you admit that all this time that what we were saying, we were all told that we were crazy? We were on how many things, Adam? Go back to 9/11. Go back to JFK. Go back to Trump getting shot in the head. All this stuff adds up to where we're sitting here screaming like, hey, guys, into the void. We're telling you evil exists and it's in our face. And Adam, mind you, this idiot, Epstein, how many photos and videos and everything, you know why he did that, Adam? To have dirt on all of them to freaking blackmail them. That's it.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm not denying.
I want to move on.
Okay.
Guys, I want to move on. I got you. So we'll do that, and it's a regular thing. For me, by the way, with one thing with Melinda Gates, that she has become this unsung hero of being such an honest lady, whatever. Give me a flipping break. You dated the guy, you became a billionaire, and you agreed on the prenup to allow him to meet with his ex. So don't give me this bullshit nobility stuff.
Right.
Okay? Don't play that game with us, the audience. Oh my God, I am so noble. How many wives would agree on a prenup so you can meet with your ex-girlfriend once a year and do whatever the hell you want to do to her? You tell me who does that. And that's been proven. This agreement allowed Gates to maintain a close relationship with his ex, with whom he shared intellectual interests, such as discussing biotechnology. Yeah, we call that biotechnology. There's a lot of other words I can use for that. And I don't play her. A part of what, with Hillary, when I watched Hillary yesterday, we all know Bill has done what Bill has done, okay? We all know what, where Bill has been and how many times he's been. And, she came out and she addressed all the questions. But it was a tough day for Hillary because it was deposition, 6 hours. I think the total time was there. They asked her a bunch of different questions. She even said afterwards, they asked me about Pizzagate. I don't know about Pizzagate. It's one of the most disgusting conspiracy theories, whatever. Is this it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
So, and in the middle of it, they leaked a picture, but play this of Hillary Clinton going in, agreeing to do this. And she kept saying she wanted to be alive. But go ahead, Rob.
It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate.
Good.
One of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me.
Rob, do you have the clip about them asking her about the picture with Ghislaine Maxwell being at the daughter's wedding?
Yes, that is.
So there's a clip about her being asked, and she answered the question within 7 seconds, walked away, came back, and gave credit to James Comer, by the way. She was very complimentary of James Comer. But this is when she was asked about the picture that everyone's seen when Ghislaine Maxwell sat in the aisle, row 6 or 7, and that picture's gone viral. People are saying, why was she at your daughter's wedding where only 500 people were invited? And everybody was vetted. Go ahead, Rob.
James Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter of Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the +1, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody.
You know what the follow-up question to that is? You're the
Who was the
freaking
guest?
first lady.
Who?
You're the secretary. Your husband's a president. It's a high-profile family on the left. You don't think everyone's getting background checked? You think you can go? This isn't like you're going to Club 11. You're like, yeah, I got a +1.
Yeah.
All right. No, you're going to a wedding of the first lady and the former president's daughter. So you knew she was coming.
And there's security.
But by the way, she gave credit to James Comer, and then you got later on today, which her husband's going to be deposed. So, Tom, where are you at with this with Hillary Clinton? That's the picture, by the way. Ghislaine Maxwell to the right. If you look back, Rob, we see it right there. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't think we learned anything about Hillary Clinton's character. She was on brand for the whole hearing. I mean, that's been her. You know, deny, swerve, and things like this. And now it's come out, and it's just elephants in the room that she didn't talk about. It's just as you correctly pointed out. And I look at it, and I think it was a hearing that basically ratified everything that we've always held as our conclusions over the last 5 years after 8 years after 2016 and what we now know happened in Russia and et cetera, et cetera. It's just, I think she ratified it. She made no traction. Do you think, Pat, that in even 1% she improved or moved her perception back? Or is it just, you know what, that's Hillary, that's her character, that's on brand?
Yeah, Vinny, do you have any new thoughts about Hillary? Anything else outside?
Well, I think, my opinion, she's a liar, because I sent Rob a couple of emails that were put up from the DOJ, that emails from Jeffrey Epstein that said this from him: Hillary Clinton is much prettier in person. If he never met her, how the hell would he know that? Also, look at this. Meetings with Hillary are not easily discreet. When? I know you are close with Hillary, but if she gets the nomination, you vote for her, I'll effing kill you. I would like to invite you to attend a very intimate fundraising event with Hillary, okay? And Bill and Hillary were frequent guests at Epstein's The Zorro Ranch after they left the White House. The White House advisor logs, they revealed the 17 trips, Pat. And then think about Seth Rich. Seth Rich, when she's talking about Pizzagate, he's the one that went to WikiLeaks and dropped the dime on all of them and was a whistleblower, and he was murdered in the streets of Washington. So I think she's lying. She's sticking up for him, Pat. But again, I want to see people go to jail, especially if crimes were committed.
I don't think they have a choice but to do that now. There's two things that needs to happen, in my opinion, because this is leading to Lutnick. And Lutnick, we've been complimentary of Lutnick. He's very good on camera. He's done a great job. He's built a great company, successful guy. And picture came out about him with, Rob, I think you have the picture. There's a picture that came out, and everybody said, no, this is AI. No, this is AI. No, this is AI. No, this is AI. And then eventually they're like, are those two, maybe that's the one that he went with his wife and his 2 kids. Well, we don't see the wife and 2 kids. That is the island. That has now been confirmed that that's Jeffrey Epstein in the white shirt and white pants. And that's Lutnick in the back.
In the blue?
Yes,
that's
like
him?
back
Blue
there.
shirt, that's him in the back. That part's been confirmed. Everybody has been checking to see if this is a correct thing that happened or no, because nowadays you got to definitely check to see AI. CBS has confirmed it. Grok's confirmed it. A bunch of different AI platforms have confirmed it. Who knows, something else may come out. Now, there's a few things. This could be the event where he took his wife and kids, and maybe his wife and kids weren't there. He said he was only there for an hour, so maybe they're the ones on the other side taking the pictures. Maybe that's what's going on. But you know, when you read the story, I'll read the story to you on page 5, and I want to come to you guys on this one here. Oh, I cannot read it because printing didn't do a good job on it. But when you look at this story with Howard Lutnick, Rob, zoom in to see if I can read any of it. Okay, a photo appearing Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick. Okay, got to go a little bit lower. The picture shows the pedophile walking ahead of the financier at St. James Island, where they visited for a picnic with his wife and his children and his nannies. Okay, go a little bit lower. The picture was located by Gmail, a site run by 2 tech workers who have created a searchable version of Epstein's Gmail inbox by downloading all of the files. The group posted a link on its to the image, which a DOJ file name, the file name was, et cetera, does not match the results of DOJ's Epstein website, suggesting it had been deleted. So this is the controversy here. that they took it down. Now, why did they take it down? Is it because he's an insider? Is it because he's got a job? So that's the part where, people start saying you're protecting it, and they get credible. They get credit. They say, now you see what you're doing. Now you see what you're doing. Now you're protecting them. And some are even saying that Trump didn't know about it. The DOJ was doing it, and then it's making Trump look bad. No matter what it is, in UK, when this took place with
Andrew,
they not only dropped him from the family, and now he got arrested, right? And they're going after him, as well as the other guy, Mandelson. I don't know how to say his name. Another guy that had to step down. Yeah, Peter Mandelson that had to go through. So at this point of the game, there are certain things that you can just look here while you have a massive issue on this side. Sometimes you just got to go head on and talk about it and address it, make some decisions. So, Vinny, I know you have some opinions on this Howard Lutnick picture that came out. And I know, Adam, you do as well. I'll come to you first.
So we were talking about Hillary Clinton a second ago. Now we're talking about Lutnick. There's a cool club going on here in the world, and you're not invited. And you know who also wasn't invited, it seems, is Donald Trump. Because all these people, all these names keep popping up. Every single one of them would be considered this one word. What's that one word? The elite. And the one story that we hear about Trump was that the elite was no fan of Donald Trump. So what did Trump do? Was go out and build his own thing. Put Trump on everywhere, went and bought Mar-a-Lago, had his own events. So Trump, wasn't he the guy that kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago? Wasn't Trump the guy that was sort of blackballed by all the illegal stuff in New York? That's why he came down to Florida, built his own thing.
He did an interview with the police about him in West Palm Beach.
There you go. So, by the way, all these names keep popping up. Okay, so Howard Lutnick actually did meet Epstein. It wasn't just he was creeped out when he met him before. What's going on there? Scott Besson, who's part of the Trump administration, who did he work for a long time? Who was that? George Soros.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things are interweaving, and it's all going on like that. But Vinny wants accountability, and here's the bad news for Vinny. Nothing's going to happen.
God will watch.
You might get people to step down. Yeah. You might get people to be shamed. But I know you want heads to roll. I know you want heads to roll, and I know you want people to go to jail. I don't see any of these people.
Oh, I disagree.
Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
I don't see any of them going to jail. And then last thing, Hillary Clinton. I actually believe Hillary Clinton that she had no affiliation with Epstein. Why? Because Hillary Clinton ain't trying to bang little girls. But Bill Clinton, on the other hand,
but what about business?
May have some explaining to do.
But what about business? I don't think all of this was just hooking up with underage girls.
Do you think anybody in the U.S. is going to get arrested? Anybody?
Anybody? I'm sure there'll be a
name.
Guy.
Some heavyweights.
No.
You don't think any heavyweights will?
Give me names and I'll tell you my opinion. Gates, no. Bill Clinton, no.
I think somebody has. I think somebody has to go to jail.
Anyone that has a B next to their name, millionaire.
Let me ask you.
Anyone that's been a former president.
You think?
I do not see them going to jail.
Okay, so let me ask you.
If you give me names, I'll answer them.
You think what Edward Snowden and Julian Assange did? Do you think the modern day Edward Snowden and Julian Assange are more advanced and better than they were?
Well, of course.
Of course they will. Wait till those guys get to work. Wait.
Why aren't they working on it yet?
They are. What I'm trying to tell you is this direction it's going. Yeah. You remember when everybody on X was talking about Epstein, and I would constantly go on YouTube and look at Fox and CNN. I would see how many videos were about Epstein, and it wasn't that many. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember this. So we would be talking about Epstein, and it's like, America doesn't care about Epstein. It's a Twitter story, right? You remember this? And even CNN did a poll one time saying, 1% of people think...
Not 1%.
Right. It was less than...
1%.
Right. But guess what? Yeah. Do me a favor. Go to YouTube and go to Fox News. This is Fox News. Keep in mind. This is not CNN. Go to their channel and go to videos, Rob. Watch how many videos.
Boom.
Okay? Second one, Epstein. Okay? Go to 6th one, Epstein. 8th one, Epstein. 9th one, Epstein. Okay? Keep going.
More. Epstein.
11th one. 12th one, Epstein. Okay, guess what? You know what this means? This is the power of media. The power of media and the people got so sick of it because of the way Pam Bondi fumbled this. She did.
Oh, I agree with that.
That the people are finally saying, I'm effing sick of it. Tell me what the hell happened. And folks are sitting there saying, tell me, so that pressure, you think that pressure is going to go away? You think it's going higher or lower?
Well, the question is, do you think Trump is going to keep the pressure on or basically try to diffuse?
He doesn't have a control over that because once the audience gets to a point, so you can, once the audience and the pressure goes to a point, you eventually have to react.
Do you think the pressure is now higher than ever?
Of course it is.
Than ever with Epstein?
With this topic?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Why do you think it's so much
You
higher
think
now?
Hillary and Bill are going to let this go and allow them to be publicly humiliated? You don't know the crap theory? You don't think they're making calls saying, I swear to God, if you do this, I'm going to tell them about what you did that one time in D.C. I'm going to tell them about what you did that one time in Hawaii. I'm going to tell them about that deal that we paid you on the side with cash with the briefcase that was dropped. Go ahead and throw us under the bus. Go ahead, do it. You don't think she's making those calls? Do you not see her stone cold personality on how she did the interview like a freaking mobster? She stayed like a Teflon. Don't forget, as much of a badass as Trump is, if there's a female Trump without the personality, that is an equal without the personality, without the charm, that thinks very highly of herself. It's that lady right there, Hillary Clinton.
Cold. But didn't we argue a few weeks ago, like, she's not even going to come on. Even if she comes, there's no point of her coming. And I was like, the fact that she's volunteering to come means she probably has nothing to hide in this instance.
I don't know about that.
Is she the big fish or is Bill Clinton the big fish?
I don't know what. I don't know.
Why are we so focused on Hillary?
By the way,
it's Bill that needs to
how
be
close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton? How close is Melinda Gates? Rob, can you type in how close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton? And let me tell you where I'll go with this one here. You know where I'm going with this or no? Okay, how close is Melinda Gates with Hillary Clinton?
Well,
if they're close, do they have a relationship?
They work together, Melinda Gates Foundation. They
Not
partnered.
a close relationship.
But
Okay,
they partnered. I mean,
look, maybe she is sitting there. Yeah, how much you think her and Bill are fully aligned on how to handle this deposition?
Hillary and Bill?
Yes.
Oh, they're business partners at this point.
100% they're aligned.
100%, because he's coming in today.
So the way she answered as if she's not done anything wrong. That's not how the husband's going to do it. How many times has the husband been to the island? What are you going to do with
We
that?
have photos of it.
How many times did Epstein come to the White House?
Dumb.
No, she could play dumb.
Of course.
But he can't.
I agree.
So part of it here is, are you doing that to make yourself look good and make your husband look bad? I don't know.
No, I don't think you're married for 50 years and all of a sudden the last second you throw him under the bus.
But you don't know that.
We're
I'm
about to
saying
find out.
we're about to find out. But to me, the pressure is so bad right now that behind closed doors, they're saying we have to do something for optics purposes.
Sure.
And what is that going to be? So, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that picture being shown, is that going to do anything where, Rob, is the podcast
picture?
doing fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that picture being shown with Lutnick right there, you think that's going to cause the White House to, an announcement coming out next week saying Howard Lutnick has decided to step down and spend time with his family?
I don't think he can stay silent.
Around
How do you stay silent?
Well, especially given what he said. What's the one thing he said?
lied.
I met Epstein one time, and he lived right across the hall, and I said, I'll never associate with this guy again. Number one, we agreed guys don't talk like that. Number two,
absolutely,
he lied, apparently. And we're all fans of Lutnick. We like what he's doing.
We're fans.
You know, as they said, you got some explaining to do, honey.
Howard Lutnick had his Rafael Palmeiro moment in front of Congress.
Yeah.
Remember that? He shook his finger up there. I'd never taken
less than
steroids.
3% of our audience knows who Rafael Palmeiro is.
He's a great home
He was a
run hitter.
lefty hitter that hit 50 home runs a couple seasons. He was phenomenal.
Great
But
mustache.
he was phenomenal, but he was also called to be in front of Congress, and he waved his finger in the air about investigating on
from Miami, I
steroids.
wanna say.
And then in the weeks that followed, he was exposed. He had the receipts from what he purchased. He had Paul DeLuca and other players talking about, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He bought here, he bought there. So, and now Howard Lutnick makes his moment in front of Congress, and this comes up. When you say no one's going to be accountable, I'm going to do something real quick, Pat, on Andrew, Prince Andrew. Remember, Andrew, as a
Just real quick, I said I didn't say not accountable. I said nobody's going to jail.
Well, wait a
Who'll
second.
step down, they'll be
let
shamed.
me show you what's happening over there. First of all, Andrew is being semi-protected by his brother, not covered up by the king, but the king doesn't want full fury, right? He doesn't want all this stuff. And when the Queen passed away, William was unleashed. And William in 2019 wanted his brother, his uncle, banished. And within the last 4 weeks, he said he was not in a calm state when he saw the latest interview that Andrew did. So here's what they did. You can't prosecute royalty. That's the way it works in Britain. Whoops. Guess what, Pat? He's no longer royalty. They took his title. Then he could stay at the Royal Lodge. And they're like, no, we will not support you with dollars that way. Get out of the Royal Lodge. Now he's been moved out of the Royal Lodge. Then what did they do? They banished his royal duties. So he doesn't even get to go to Switzerland and give them a bouquet of flowers if someone dies, right? On behalf of the royal family, we're sorry. You know, that's kind of what royalty does sometimes. So now you have all this going. The worst, it's going downhill. And now he's actually been served under arrest and question. The noose is tightening around Andrew, and William wants him out and prosecuted, and the heat is so great that you can see the British control systems, who you normally, boys will be boys, and they give free passes to the monarchy. It's not happening. It's getting tightening, and the worst possible thing could happen to Andrew next would be that the cancer, Charles succumbs to his cancer, and William becomes king, because then I think the door's open. He will be prosecuted, and I think it's coming for him. Okay. And I think you can follow that around the world, that the heat is getting so great. It's getting so intense. I think things are coming.
To America, to people in America.
I think it's coming, Pat.
May I respond to that?
A year ago, I wouldn't have said that.
So you said all that you're outlined that Andrew's sort of going to be the first domino to fall, and other things may happen.
Like
here's how
in
much
court.
I care about the British royalty, and here's what's going on with Andrew. Zero. If it affects America, now we're talking. If Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or any of the slick willies, something happens to them, now you have my attention. If something happens to some weirdo former Prince Andrew, albeit. But if it affects America, now you have my attention. If it happens to some royalty or former royalty, it doesn't do it for me.
Andrew's going to talk, guys. Andrew's going to talk.
Let me ask Vinny. If the only person heads to roll, goes to jail, held accountable, and they string him up and put him in a noose is Prince Andrew, but nobody else, would you be satisfied?
Absolutely not. You know, dude, we talk about this all the time. You know where I am with accountability. In regard to Lutnick, I'm extremely disappointed, Pat. That's the guy. That's the one guy that I kept seeing and going, I like that guy. He's speaking the truth. He's trying to help America out. And Rob, can you show that photo of the dentist's office? There was a photo. There was like a mask on the dentist office that we talked about 2 weeks ago. That looks, no, I'm not being dead serious. This was on the wall in the dentist office on Epstein Island. I don't know that many people that look just like that and have that smile. So guess what? If you were caught lying,
it could be Vince McMahon.
Adam, but here's my thing, Pat. If you get caught lying, Adam, guys, can I speak?
Sorry.
If you get caught lying in that sense, then how can we trust you with any? And it's not like a little white lie. You're lying about hanging out with a convicted, disgusting pet, whatever the hell you want to call him. If the age people try to be like, well, they were 15, or I don't give a damn. He's disgusting. And you're lying. And you're bringing your kids, your nanny, and your people. And it's weird. And then you hear other stuff, like the Cantor Fitzgerald something shorting the tariffs, even though Lutnick was the one going hard on the tariffs. And then wait a minute, your son and some people are making money because the tariffs are the Supreme Court voted against them. It's like, now you're losing all this trust. It's very, very disappointing. And then Adam, when the DOJ, whoever's removing these photos, I don't think Trump has 1,000 other things going on. But when they talk about the deep state, Adam, those are the same people. And I love that you keep bringing up Pam Bondi, guys. Pat, this all comes down to her. You ruined this whole damn thing. You should have been transparent from the beginning. You shouldn't have been sitting in a damn restaurant talking crap about 10,000 hours
bragging.
of porn.
Bragging.
Yeah, bragging. And now we ask questions. And now you want me to believe that 30 seconds that you guys deleted and took out of that jail cell, you want me to believe what? Oh, there was just a glitch? Oh, just like all the cameras were off that day? Oh, just like the guards fell asleep? Give me a break. Now you're losing all credibility. And for people like me that say we don't trust any of you, that's what it is. Period.
Dude, can I defend Pam Bondi for a second?
No.
Because you can't. Nobody's doing that. And yes, she has fumbled the ball. But to blame Pam Bondi when you've had decades and decades of the Bill Barrs and the Attorney General.
They're all deep state.
But you want to put it on the person who's been in the job for 1 year.
Yeah, yes.
She's the CEO of the company
Adam,
for 1 year.
you know why?
Where the company's been failing for decades.
Let me tell you. But let me tell you,
She's the
Adam.
fall guy? She's the fall guy?
No. Let me tell you. Adam, what would happen if you went somewhere and you negotiated on my behalf and you agreed or said certain things without running it by me, with terms without running it by me, what would happen to
That'd
that
be a major
relationship?
problem.
That's what she
That'd
did.
be a major problem.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
She
But
went.
We don't know if she didn't get the message from the higher up.
She went out there and said there's tens of thousands of disgusting, and then she did that a day or two after James O'Keefe got the video catching her saying what are in those files, and they're nasty. You know what that means?
Yes.
In the mob world, what category does that fall under?
A rat.
Disgrazia.
Loose lips.
Loose lips.
You have loose lips, you can't be on the inside.
can I-
You go from an insider to being 6 layers out. And that's the problem with her. This is not a character issue. We don't like her. This is not about likability. Loose lips is what caused this to be. Is this it, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Play the clip. So this is her 2 days after James O'Keefe or day after James O'Keefe. Go ahead, Rob.
No, the FBI, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
So the part is that you get if you notice one thing, I had Christine Ohm on the podcast the other day.
Going viral right now, by the way.
One of the clips about her being spied on. Yes, about her being spied on, right? But we had Christine Ohm on the podcast the other day. Great conversation. She did great. And guess what? A part of who you hire is to represent you in a marketplace. By the way, just so everybody knows, you don't get it right. A guy asked me a question about an investment he had that he lost, and he was impacted about it in a big way. He's asked me this question yesterday. I said, what do you do? I said, every year, you're going to get some decisions wrong. Every year. I've been running a business for quite some time. Every year. And all I want to do is to go from 48% better decisions to 52% to 56%. You ain't never going to be 95% or 90%. It's just not going to happen, right? And sometimes when you hire people, you can't speak on their behalf. Pam Bondi screwed up because of loose lips and the way she handled herself. And she created noise. And she could have prevented that. This is not about questioning anything else. There needs to be a fall person on this. If you don't have it, it's going to continue. It's going, and by the way, here's how this works. The faster you do it, you know how if you're a hairy person and you're doing EKG, and they put all this stuff on your chest and your chest has got hair. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You know what's the worst thing to do when you're
pulling
taking
them off?
No, taking it like this.
Slowly.
You ever seen nurses that do this? And you hold the nurse's hand. What are you doing? Take the damn thing off and go boom. Right? And you scream like the 40-year-old virgin clip, right? But you know where they are right now?
Yeah.
They got to go wham.
Great point.
Pull the whole thing already.
They've been slow
And
ripping
by
for
the way,
years
that's
now.
exactly what they're doing.
Of course. So why would that change now?
But because the temperature's the highest and it's not going to go away. You realize every time, like, we could be talking about right now victory, State of the Union. We could be talking about stuff that's actual real topics. But you're causing the last 16 videos on Fox to be 11 of them to be what? About Epstein.
Yep.
You think everybody wants to talk about that?
No.
But that's how this game works.
Real quick, can I respond? I absolutely agree with you. You know who's laughing us right now? Our enemies, China. Okay, Russia. Because here we are arguing over little 16-year-old pedophilia, whatever Epstein did on this island, when they're trying to have world hegemony and take over the world, and we're arguing about chicks with dicks.
It's not just
and
what
trans
he did.
stuff.
It's not what he did.
I hear you.
It's not
but
just,
there's a lot of noise going on
it's
here.
Not, but,
and we're trying to find the signal through the noise. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Some of this noise is real. So there's a difference between bad noise that's you don't need to pay. Some of it is real. You know, your kids will scream, "Oh my God, no, that's not fair. That's not fair." Noise. No, oh my God, my ankle, look at my ankle, it's bleeding. It says, "Oh wow, this is bad. Let's go to the hospital."
That's noise.
You have to know there's real noise, okay?
But there's certainly some real noise here, but there's a lot more
Dude, the guy that's got one of the biggest jobs in the White House said, I only met him one time and he doesn't tell the story about being on the island and the picture's released and it's the one picture that you didn't put on the web.
Bingo.
When you do stuff like this, you make it challenging on people. You don't make it easy. So anyways, I want to go to the next story.
Is Trump going to fire anyone in his cabinet is the question.
No, he won't do the
firing. He has not fired Bondi.
He won't do the firing.
Lutnick.
He won't do the firing because of one person. There's one person on the inside that knows how to handle these sensitive situations in a proper way, and her name is Susie Wiles. So there's different ways to fire people. Okay. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do right now, Rob, just go pull up the block story, square story. Okay, and it has nothing to do with this, but there's many different ways on how to fire people. One of them is you're fired. Another one of them is reposition. Another one of them is severance. Another one of them is, hey, give them a smaller job.
Down to be with my family.
Yeah, I'm stepping. There's so many ways, and Susie is a pro. So whatever way this is going to be done, best trust. What's the difference between this time around, last time around? This chief of staff, she's a boss. Everybody who runs a company that's an operator, you want to have a Susie Wiles, okay? So far, she's done a great job. Can you do me a favor and go up to that Twitter of Jack Dorsey, Rob? So mass layoffs, thank you, Rob. Block slashes staff by 40%, adding to growing tech cuts. Tom said the moment they cut 40%, 4,000 jobs, the stock apparently went up 25% or so. Tom, correct me.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so check that out.
There it is.
Hey, we're
Boing.
firing 4,000 people. Bam. It goes to the roof. No, literally. So let's go read Jack Dorsey's Twitter tweets that he put up. Is that what you call it nowadays? What did he call it?
It's a post.
Okay.
It's a post.
It's a post.
He used to own Twitter, so you can call it whatever you want.
We're making blocks smaller today. Here's my note to the company. This thing got 50 million views, folks. Today, we're making one of the hardest decisions in the history of the company. We're reducing our organization by nearly half from over 10,000 people to just under 6,000. That means 4,000 of you, he's talking to his employees, are being asked to leave or entering into consultation. I'll be straight about it, what's happening, why, and what it means for everyone. First of all, if you're one of the people that's being affected, you'll receive your salary for 20 weeks, 1 week per year of tenure, equity vested through the end of May, 6 months of healthcare, your corporate devices, and $5,000 to put towards whatever you need to help you in this transition. If you're outside of the U.S., you'll receive smaller support. I want you to know that before anything else, everyone will be notified whether you're being asked to leave, enter in consultation, or asked to stay. We're not making this decision because we're in trouble. Our business is strong, gross profits growing, continues to grow. We're continuing to serve more and more customers, and profitability is improving. But something has changed. We're already seeing that the intelligence tools, here we go, folks, we're creating and using, paired with smaller and flatter teams, are enabling a new way of working which fundamentally changes what it means to build and run a company, and that's accelerating rapidly. I had two options: cut gradually, or months or years as this shift plays out, or be honest about where we are and act on it now. I chose the latter. Repeated rounds of cuts and destructive to morale, to focus, and to trust that customers and shareholders place in our ability to lead. I'd rather take a hard, clear action now and build from a position we believe in, and then manage a slow reduction. You see this, how much this has to do with the point I was just making a minute ago, of people toward the same outcome. A smaller company also gives us the space to grow our business the right way and on our own terms, instead of constantly reacting to market pressures. Decision at the scale carries risk, but so does standing still. We've done a full review of determining the roles and people we're required to reliably grow the business from here, and we've pressure tested those decisions from multiple angles. I accept that we may have gotten some of them wrong, and we've built in flexibility to account for that and do the right thing for our customers. We're not going to just disappear people from Slack and email and pretend they're never here. Communication channels will stay open throughout Thursday evening so everyone can say goodbye properly and share whatever you wish. I will be also hosting a live video session to thank everyone at 3:55. To those of you leaving, I'm grateful for you. I'm sorry to put you through this. You built this company of what it is today. That's a fact that I'll honor forever. This decision is not a reflection of what you contributed. You will be a great contributor to any organization going forward. To those staying, I made this decision. I'll own it. What I'm asking for you to build with me is we're going, okay, and then he goes into the next message. 50 million plus views. Tom.
Well, first of all, this is an example of what I believe is strong leadership when you have to make the tough decision. And he doesn't want people to live in fear. We are making one cut one time. This is how we're doing it. And take a look. They're giving them 20 weeks plus 6 months of health care. He is giving transition with a capital T to all of these people. He's giving them time to find other jobs. I thought this was really well done. Now, for everybody else saying, well, why would the market be happy about layoffs? I'm going to dive in a little bit to that. Real quick history. Square was born in 2009 in St. Louis. Jack Dorsey started it. And they became Block in 2021, long after their IPO. IPO was 2015 or something. And along the way, they built Cash App in 2013. So you had Square and Cash App. He's building this fintech company, keeps adding to it. They changed the name to Block, Pat, because they were saying, hey, we're going to be more about what's on blockchain, and we're going to also allow you to do crypto inside Cash App. So that's where Block came from as a modern brand for it. And by the way, 2020 to 2021, Cash App won the deal, and they were a distributor of the payments from the federal government during the whole COVID. So those payments that came from the government were executed through Cash App. Now, something then happened. They got into the BNPL business and they bought Afterpay in 2022. At the time they bought it, you had a lot of people, even analysts on Wall Street, saying, hey, when you consolidate these, is all these admin jobs? Do you need them both? Do you need all this? And Pat, they never made whenever you acquire something, you don't need 2 HRs, you don't need 2 marketings. You know, there's a lot of things you don't need 2 of. And unfortunately, you have to thin up the team. Well, they didn't. And he got up over 10,000 jobs. So message number 1, there were more people at Block than probably were necessary to run the business, and he was going to have to make some sort of an adjustment or a layoff to right-size the workforce because of their the acquisitions that they made of BNPL. But second, along the way, they started discovering benefits of AI. The stock market jumped up because they've been waiting for him to reduce internal costs. But the headlines jump up because they're like, oh no, AI is going to take everybody's job and we're all gone. Well, some of that is true, but it's not going to destroy everything in life. So there were 2 things that happened here, but I think that Jack Dorsey handled it like a pro. I think there's a little more shade thrown on, that AI caused it, and there needs to be a little bit more honesty about the fact that there was consolidations, there was growth, and they bought Afterpay, this BNPL, and it built a very large hoard at headquarters that they had never really successfully trimmed or right-sized.
So Tom, that tweet he just sent out, how long of noise is he going to have till the noise goes away?
I happen to think that the market has digested it.
Not the market, in the company.
There's going to be an adjustment of a couple of weeks or 30 days. But there will not be, if this is true, and they are not going to do, as he said, the death of 1,000 cuts. Oh, we're doing this many, and then we're doing this many, then we're doing it. You see companies, you and I have seen it, when companies are losing altitude and they lay off, then they lay off, then they lay off. How could the staff not live in fear?
So how long do you think this is going to take?
There's going to be a 30-day reaction inside.
And what happens after 30 days?
If this is true, people will put their head down and work and drive for the future.
Yeah, and they'll move on.
Correct.
Okay, and guess what? The White House needs to look at this playbook.
Bingo.
That's what the White House needs to do. The White House needs to look at this playbook.
What a take. Amen
That's
to that.
the point. That's where I'm going with.
Amen.
Go take that thing off and get the pain in half a second instead of dragging it out the way you're doing.
With an honest, transparent
The president needs to send one of those long, novel-type tweets that only a few people do. Him and Bill Ackman are famous for it. He needs to sell one of those long tweets and for market to be like, oh, my God, and criticize the hell out of the president, talk trash, come out and say impeachment, come out and say all this stuff. And then guess what? 2 weeks later, war, something, issue happens, you move on. But you have to address this because this is kids. And when it comes down to kids, people, it's like you can say anything else, and that person's just looking at you saying, kids, children, kids. They hear nothing else you're saying. So that's the thing with this. And by the way, kudos to Jack for handling it this way. Let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get to is Netflix and Paramount. So, Rob, what page is the Netflix and Paramount story? Netflix and Paramount, which is massive.
We could do addendum 2, Netflix stock right here.
Okay, so let's do that. So Netflix, addendum 2, ditches the deal for Warner Brothers Discovery after Paramount offer is deemed superior. So Paramount comes up and they go to $31 per share, and then that causes Paramount agreeing to pay the $2.8 billion breakup fee that Warner Brothers would owe Netflix if the deal didn't go through. So what Paramount is saying is, don't worry about it. We'll pay that. It's like you have an apartment that you've been living in. If you want to cancel and leave to go to a different job, you have to pay for the 3 months, and the company says, we'll pay for the 3 months of rent for you to move over here sooner. That's what that breakup is. That's the way to look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they come in, and Paramount goes, and I keep in mind a couple things that happen, and Tom, I'm going to come to you first, Adam, to you afterwards, is while this is going on, Rob, you may have a video on this. I think you may have a video on this. There was a few events that took place. Ted Sarandos was supposed to be at the White House. I think he did go to the White House. I don't know if he met with the president. Rumors are saying he did not. He just met with a few staffers. And remember that Suzanne Rice made a couple comments. Then the president says, you got to fire her Netflix, and they did it. So some are saying it's a political decision of what's going to be happening. The employees who are working at CNN right now are not frightened because they're thinking Larry Ellison and David Ellison are going to come in and like a Barry Weiss type of a thing, and there's going to be a lot of shakeup, and some of the employees are going to get fired. And they're saying we are effed. There's literally some emails and texts that are being shown that employees are saying we are effed at CNN. But I'll pause right there. Rob, play this clip, and Tom, I'm coming to you next. Go ahead.
In just the past couple of minutes, Netflix is declining to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery Studios and streaming business. The move effectively puts Paramount in a position to take over the storied Hollywood giant. Today, Warner Brothers board announced that Skydance owned Paramount's offer is superior to the agreement it had previously struck with Netflix. Now, Netflix says the price that would be required to buy Warner makes the deal no longer financially attractive.
There you go. Tom, thoughts?
So, well, hats off to, I've been critical of David Zaslav for the last year. I thought they started this the wrong way. He was going to the Allen and Company conference, and there were leaks that come out that supposedly he had whispered to people, you know, do you want to take CNN? We're taking care of it. Remember all this, Pat?
Mm-hmm.
We're taking care of all the big salaries, and Caitlin is on a rookie deal. So, you know, this is a different CNN. We're going to get the cost right. Come on. And he found no takers. No takers for an aging, shrinking cable news service coming purely from the left that Ted Turner was disgusted at how it evolved. Then David gets this done. And so hats off to Zaz. He gets 31 a share for the shareholders. Part of the rule, you know, for being a great CEO is deliver value for the shareholders and lead the company with clarity and authenticity. And it was a bumpy ride, but he got it done. What's interesting to me about this, Pat, really interesting to me, is how the last hours unfolded. The Ellisons did come to 31 a share. And remember, the Ellisons are coming to buy the whole thing. They want the cable nets and they want the library, whereas Netflix only wanted the library. And there were people in Hollywood, producers, big-time movie creators, that really were favoring the Ellisons a little bit. Why? Because the Ellisons are favoring theatrical releases and bigger budgets. That's what people in Hollywood want, because those bigger budgets give them their jobs. Whereas Netflix, they said, oh, they're just going to stream this to death. They're going to carve it up. They're going to go with AI. And so there was a lot of behind the scenes. But in the last hours, Ted Sarandos, you're correct, Pat. Well, your summary, I've read in multiple locations this morning. He was going to go meet with Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles. And Susie Wiles was going to be the gatekeeper, and Pam Bondi was going to be the gatekeeper for the Federal Trade Commission. And he wanted to go up there and talk to them about what he would face at Federal Trade Commission, and obviously he didn't want Trump whispering. But Susan Rice, who was in the Obama administration, had shot her mouth off. Rob, if we can find that, her exact quote was, people need to be careful because revenge is best served cold.
Yeah, it's a threat.
So you have got this threat that she puts out there, and she's on the board of Netflix. So do you not think Reed Hastings or Ted Sarandos would have picked up the phone and called her? I know you would have, Pat, and saying, what are you saying? You have your independence. You have your old job. You have your own identity. But you can't speak like that when we're in the middle of something. What the hell are you doing? And then Trump comes out and says, you know, you should fire that lady. That lady talking.
What did she say here? Is this her?
Yes.
Right.
But let me say this: somebody who I won't name, but a very prominent public figure who has served at nearly the very highest levels once told me the following. They said, "Revenge is best served cold." And the older I get, the more I see the wisdom of that. You don't roll over. You don't allow yourself to be bullied or manipulated. Sometimes, you have to meet hardball with hardball. Sometimes there are more subtle ways to accomplish the same. But it's important to let bullies know that you won't be bullied. And if need be, to make them pay a price for trying to bully you or smear you or whatever.
You can pause it right there. So, by the way, so here's two things you got to be thinking about. One, when did she get the board seat? When did she get the board seat? Board seat, Netflix. When did she get the board seat? There's two problems here. Just ask ChatGPT when did let's see if it answers it here. If not, go to ChatGPT. Yeah. So she got the board
7 years ago.
Okay, so check this out. That's under Trump. But that's first term Trump. Then you got second term, which is Biden. Okay, and Trump called it the other day on State of the Union, my second term. Everybody laughed. But then you got second term. And then she served on the board until 2020, when she left to join Biden administration and was reappointed to Netflix September 8, 2023. So Netflix probably did that. Tom, do you think Netflix did that thinking Kamala was going to win? When did Biden step down? We were in Hampton, so July?
Yes,
after the assassination. The handwritten note from the White House.
It's either
July 20.
It's either a move of there is no way in the world Trump's going to win, so let's bring and put her on the board. Or, listen, business as usual. I mean, if we put her on in 2018, we're going to do it again. Or number two, the problem is, what the hell are you doing making comments like that while you're sitting on a board of a $500 billion company that's about to get a big deal that is good assets? I mean, there's a lot of things to it. I saw one expert also say, which I really liked his take, knew his name. I've never heard him before, but he was on, I want to give this guy credit because it was so great what he said. You know what, he was asked and he said, what do you think about the whole thing? Do you think it's because of, and he was talking to the guy that wrote the 1929 book. What is his name, Tom? You know his name.
Andrew Sorkin.
Yes, he says. He's speaking to him, Rob, and he says, do you think this is because of Suzanne Rice? And he says, no, I don't think. He says, really, you don't think? No, he says, I don't think. He says, so what do you think this is? He says, honestly, here's what I think it is. He says, I think it's about Netflix has always built their business. They're builders. They don't acquire companies. They're builders. So you know what the builder mentality is? Look, we'd like to buy you. We have some money. But whether we do or not, we're builders anyways. We're going to keep building. So the mindset of a builder sometimes is different than those that are aggregators. Aggregators want to buy EBITDA, they want to buy catalog, and you kind of like are trying to get all that stuff in. So listen, that also goes credit to the Netflix folks. If it's just a business decision and it has nothing to do with politics, which I do think 20-30% of this was politics, but if it's just a business decision, go ahead. FYI, I prefer Paramount picking up WBD than it going to Netflix. I personally prefer that. Do you want to know why? Because it intensifies competition between 3 heavyweights now, or 4 heavyweights. You got the Paramount, CBS, WarnerBros team, the Ellison, those guys. You got the Disney folks that got to get their act together, but never, by the way, never count Disney out. Disney is 3 good moves away from being $1 trillion company. Literally, they're not that far off. And then you have Netflix. This is good competition. You got some outsiders. You got YouTube. YouTube may come and spank all of them, to be honest with you. I mean, we don't know what's going to be happening, but, I kind of like that this ended up being there. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, to me, get ready to be more controlled, because it seems like you're going to have more options now, all these companies, but they're all being consolidated. So what happens when consolidation happens? they're going to control what you watch, and then in turn, they're going to control what you think. So all these things, you just said there's going to be 3 or 4 major companies that are going to be controlling everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent of what happened with Amazon and Walmart. I mean, all the little mom and pop shops are gone. I mean, if you're going to go shopping, where are you going? You're going to Amazon, you're going to Walmart, maybe Target, you know, if they chill out on the LGBT trans stuff. So it might be more convenient. You know, everyone has, I have all these apps on my phone. I've subscribed to all these things. Now you're going to subscribe to 3 different things. So there's fewer apps, but when there's fewer choices, you know what's going to cost more? What you have to pay every single month. So you might, instead of paying $9.99, $99, $14.99, $99, you might end up paying $29.99, $39.99, $50.99, but only 3 times. So you brought up the other point, YouTube. To me, the biggest benefactor of all this is going to be guys like us. It's going to be guys like the Daily Wire. It's going to be guys like independent media. It's going to be like Turning Point. It's going to be even things on the left. Because it's like, do you want to be controlled by the big tech oligarchies or monopolies, or do you want to trust independent voices out there? Because what this basically means is this. All the news, the media, the sports, the comedy, the entertainment, the cartoons, they're all going to be owned by 3 different companies. And what happens is I think innovation is going to basically be cut down, see a lot more sequels. Okay, we're going to see Transformers 94 or Avengers 417 because there's going to, in my opinion, lose a little creativity the bigger you get. You know what this is also reminiscent of? The insurance industry where we come from. When I entered the insurance industry almost 20 years ago, oh my God, I'm dating myself. There were so many independent IMOs, BGAs, I couldn't keep track. How many major IMO BGAs are there now? 3, 4? So that's good for the customer. Essentially, there's less competition, but at the end of the day, I think prices are going to go up.
AmeriLife bought Crump. I had no idea AmeriLife bought
That's
Crump.
huge.
Yeah, AmeriLife bought Crump. You remember when was it BB&T or something like that? I don't know who
Yeah,
it was.
BB&T.
Yeah, that bought
owned
them, but
Crump.
AmeriLife bought Crump. How massive was Crump 10 years ago? 5 years?
The
massive.
biggest.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of distribution.
Yeah. So
this is all distribution.
it is.
Not?
It is. Again, for me, I like that they're going. I like that there's going to be some disruption at CNN. I like that there's going to be some disruption to the media space. Even yesterday, while we were having dinner with the folks, one of the guys, I think it was Brad, that said this could be the reason why they're buying them is because they want to be able to do the future Harry Potter AI movies. They can do 10, 15 AI movies. And of course, you pay the actors a little bit of money, not the same kind of money. But they believe the future of making AI movies. You guys saw the clip, Rob? Do you have the clip of Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt? I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. Have you seen this thing?
No.
Watch this Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. It's 100% AI. Look what direction they're going with AI making movies. The fight scene. Watch this. Go ahead. Go ahead. The voice isn't there yet, but watch.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man! He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die, and now you die too.
That's crazy, right?
What was the last movie these 2 guys were in? I remember they were in like a vampire movie in the 90s.
Oh, that was a legit
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, that was a legit
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
well,
But so the concern is you buy it, now you control it, now you have AI, now you can pump out movies using AI at 1/10 of a pace. You know, so if it takes you 3 years to make a movie, now we can take 3 months to make a movie, and we can do multiple, Harry Potter movies coming out. We can make multiple. And by the way, pull up the catalog of what things Paramount will own if they have this, Rob. That one picture that the great Humberto sent. You know what I'm talking about, right?
HBO,
Watch this.
MTV, Nickelodeon,
Watch this. Zoom in a little bit, Rob.
Yeah.
Skydance, TikTok, if they get it, TikTok US, Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, Oracle, HBO, CNN, CBS, Showtime, TBS, Comedy Central, TNT, Paramount, TLC, HGTV, Nickelodeon, and then you got Animal Planet, CBS Sports, Adult Swim. What is that? Adult Swim.
Cartoons.
Oh,
Cartoon Network.
HBO Max. I was about to say Adult Swim.
PBD.
Cinemax.
Don't you forget
cooking.
about BET.
BET,
Jimmy
VH1.
Fox
BET
show.
isn't the same BET. Used to be VH1, MTV. MTV is lost. Lost. We lost. And then some other major franchises they picked up: Harry Potter, Mad Max, Conjuring, Matrix, IT, Lord of the Rings,
they got
Gremlins,
Star Trek right there, Tom.
Mission Impossible, Nightmare on Elm Street, Game of Thrones, True Detective, Soprano, Wire, Mortal Kombat, Transformers, Justice League, Shazam, Harley Quinn, Joker, Superman, Batman, Who's the other one? Is that
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. What's the one on the left? Is that Daredevil or the right about Batman? Who is that about Batman? I don't know who that is.
That's
Dexter.
the Flash. PBD.
Flash. Yellowstone, Star Trek.
That I know that is.
Turtles. It's your age. So Garfield, Avatar,
Top Gun,
G.I. Joe, Top Gun. Yeah, I mean, listen.
So all these independent brands
It's now theirs.
on one app.
Yes.
This is what we're talking about. Everything's consolidated.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It's
It's where
good for
it's
the
go-
consumer.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes when these guys buy up all this stuff, if you, the challenge is if you buy up and you don't create, it doesn't matter. You have to stay in creation mode. If they stay in creation mode, then good to go. By the way, how old is David Ellison? 41? 42? I don't know how old he is, but he's in the early 40s, late 30s. You know, he's a 43. There you go, 43.
Man.
So he's,
Vinny, what are we doing with our life, bro?
he's got
Not buying everything.
He's got
I'm about to be 40 this year, and I got to keep up with
yeah,
it.
for sure. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get into is, which one is that one? That is, okay. Do you guys want to go to Vinny, is there a story you want to get to? Because I got 3 stories I want to go to. Do you have one you want me to go to?
I mean, if we want to call out Gavin Newsom and all the stuff that's happening in California.
Which one?
The guy.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, cover that. That's
okay,
good.
well, on top of, I have a couple.
What's the story?
He'll tell it. Let him go through it.
Just in general, I just want to know, like, public, just as a society, when are we going to stop pretending, okay, that the trans movement, whatever you want to talk it, is a problem, and if we keep letting people with mental disorders keep getting away with everything that they're getting away with because we all want to be like, oh, no, God, the welcoming and loving. It's insane. We didn't even touch on it the week that the mass shooting happened in Canada with the trans man, whatever you want to call him. But since 2018, guys, mass shootings in the hands of transgenders. 2018, Aberdeen, 4 dead. 2019, Highlands Ranch, Colorado, 1 dead, 4 injured. 2022, Colorado Springs, 5 dead. 2023, Nashville, Tennessee, 6 dead. 2024, Perry, Iowa, 1 dead, 5 injured. 2025, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2 dead, 29 injured. 2026, Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, which I'm talking about, 8 dead, 25 injured. And then 2026, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 2 killed, 3 injured. I'm sick and tired of this. It's not even a minority. It's just these couple group of people that we keep acting, not us, but the left, that everything's okay. In 2018, I want to talk about this story. His name is David Funson. If you're home, look him up. Rob's going to show you. Just look at this photo. And tell me if you guys are surprised, please. Whoever's
woman.
out there,
She's
okay?
beautiful.
First openly
She believes
trans.
in Jesus. There she goes.
No, it's a pastor apparently. First openly U.S. trans lawmaker admits to child sex charges involving kids young as 3. Okay.
I didn't see that.
Adam,
one
could you let me
coming.
finish
Yeah,
the damn
got it.
story?
Sorry, Vinny.
All right.
You're speaking.
This guy's name is Stacey Marie Lawton, 41 years old, biological male, identifies as a female, pled guilty to charges with sexual exploitation of children last week. And you know who was sending this dude photos of 3-year-olds naked or whatever? His partner, who was at a daycare, Adam, sending him those photos, and he, she, whatever the hell, got in trouble too. And it's disgusting, and it's bothering me, and it's out of control. Rob, you want to? Is this the one with Gavin?
This is a Fox News clip.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stop. So
I
that
do have this one of Gavin Newsom, but I don't know if that's
no, that's not it. No, that's not it. So my point I'm getting, the trans situation. By the way, this is California. Wait, where is that, Robbie?
Sacramento.
Sacramento. This is a lawmaker. This is someone that was praised as a trailblazer, as this woman and this. That's that person. Okay, and then Pat, there's another one. Let's just keep staying on California. There's a Democrat running for Fresno, California City Council, Rene Campos. He's a registered sex offender with a 2018 conviction of possession of child abuse material who doesn't plan on stepping down. And listen to his excuse. Go ahead.
Well, I believe Fresno deserves leaders that are honest from the very beginning, not the end. So going into this, I'm putting my life out there.
Up front about his status as a registered sex offender, Rene Campos is not running from his past as he runs for office.
Jeez.
I've been given the chance to rehabilitate through the courts and back into the system.
Charged with being in possession of child sex abuse material back in 2018, the Fresno native says he pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge. Now launching his campaign to represent District 7.
And you know what he's saying? And I'll stop it right there. Rob, you know what he says, Pat? He goes, yep, Who's better to know the system than me because I went through it? I'll be an asset. And the main story, in 2018, your boy Gavin Newsom, our favorite guy, signed the Senate Bill 1319. It's a law as part of California's criminal justice reform push. Guys, it's called the Elderly Parole Program. So if you were arrested, if you were 18, 19, or whatever, and you've served 20 years, it allows inmates who are 50 years old that have served 20 years to be considered for parole. So David Funstead was 17 when he committed these crimes. And guys, they're horrific crimes. Kidnapping, child molestation, multiple victims, 5-year-old girl who has suffered severe physical trauma that I don't even want to mention because it'll gross you guys out. He was sentenced to 3 life terms in prison. 3 life terms. And guess what? Under California's elderly parole, he's becoming eligible for a hearing to get out. But as this was happening, thank God, they stopped him because they put up another charge. But Rob, can you play that clip of the news? There you go. It's only a minute.
A convicted child predator that a judge once called the monster parents fear the most has now been cleared for release under California's elderly parole program.
Jeez.
He's 64 years old. His horrific crimes include 16 counts of kidnapping and child molestation.
Are you serious?
Yes.
He was sentenced to 3 straight terms of 25 years to life, plus 20 years on top of that. The state's Corrections and Rehab Bureau detailing the process of his parole approval, telling Fox News Digital that on January 12th, 2026, Governor Gavin Newsom referred the case back to the Board of Parole Hearings for further review,
good job.
meaning he didn't agree with this conclusion. Now, at that then February board meeting, the panel reaffirmed the decision, recommending that this monster receive parole. Now, it's important to note that the governor cannot overturn there in that state parole board hearings conclusion when it's a non-homicide case.
Great.
And that is why the governor cannot at this point overturn.
So you can
those
stop it, Rob.
parole board
So Pat,
hearings.
everything we hear about California, the politics, the gas, the taxes, the lying from this guy, and he's the front runner. This is the type of thing that happened. Rob, we don't need to play because this guy goes into detail, and I don't want to get into detail what he did with these children. But what is it about this disgusting, demonic forces that even the people that are in charge are letting him? Who would sign a bill saying if you did 20 years?
That guy went to jail. Did he do
He did
time?
20 years. But
what I want to know is how did he make it out of jail?
The elderly parole.
Meaning, if other inmates know you did that 16 times.
Yeah, they protected.
How did others who maybe killed people to be in jail, how did they not?
Very
take care of
impressive. That's a very good question. Maybe his security was high level.
Child abusers don't do well in jail.
No, they don't.
This shows you the unintended consequences of a horribly run state.
Jeez.
So they passed the elder care, and what was this? The elder care,
Elderly
the
parole
elderly
program.
parole. What it was meant to do, Pat, was like an 80-year-old guy who now is frail and is in prison and has served almost his entire life. They look at it, Pat. What have they got? They got budget issues in California. So they look at these elderlies and they say, you know what? Maybe he just should be out of jail. But then you know where he goes, Pat? He would go being Social Security or Medicaid or Medicare, and then he would be in like a retirement care facility. But he's not working. He's not out there. They're old. They're frail. They're just moving them from one government program to another. You follow that?
Yeah.
And they're trying to save the money. Instead, this case comes up. So the law of unintended consequences, somebody says, some bleeding heart liberal says, hey, you know, this guy's eligible. He's eligible on this, so we need to go to the parole board for it to be reviewed. And all of a sudden, the parole board's in handcuffs. And they're like, yeah, we got to review this. But the parole board can say no. They can say, he was on there for do you notice it was triple life plus 20?
Yes.
Triple life plus 20. And I believe in California, life is 25 with good behavior. So triple life and 20 should be 25, 25, 25 plus 20, 95 years. So in other words, the original sentencing, the judge was saying, okay, we're going to do triple life plus 20, which means that's a 100-year sentence. Okay, go away. Someday, some distant relative will be notified that you passed away in prison. Or sooner than that, if other inmates who react violently often to child molesters, invoke a form of capital punishment. So it's disgusting, but this is the unintended consequences of a poorly run state, Pat. Some liberal puts this out on the book, and this is where you go. But let me tell you, Gavin Newsom was I believe, did not take the bold.
Yeah, no, I get it. Are you ready for this too? Thank God, he's such a scumbag that the prosecutor, Tom, we talked about this before this, because he got the 3 lives, Pat, there's other cases that they were like, forget it, he's never going to get out of jail. But because of this elderly parole program, as he's about to get paroled, new charges from a 1996 cold case from Roseville, California. They're going to keep him in because of the other disgusting crimes that he did. So it's going to be harder for him to leave. But if he didn't have other charges, the odds of him getting out of jail and being in the streets was going to be high. So good job, California and Gavin Newsom.
Adam.
To me, there's a bigger story here, and this is what it is. It's the difference between being nice and being kind. So one time this girl says, this is my friend Adam. He's so nice. I go, no, I'm actually not that nice. I actually can be an a-hole sometimes, but I am kind. She goes, well, what's the difference? I said, let me explain. Nice will do things to protect your feelings and will please you and avoid conflict, and it's basically fake. It's surface level stuff. Women tend to do that. Hey, how do I look? Oh, you look great, honey. And then they'll whisper, she doesn't look good. Kind does not protect people's feelings. It protects people. So it genuinely cares, and you have to be okay being disliked to solve for the truth. Men tend to be more like this. I'll give you an example. I was dating a girl, it's like 2 years ago, and she came out of the bathroom, and right behind her, a full-on dude with a beard in a dress comes out of the bathroom. I go, sweetie, she goes, no, don't say anything. I don't want to offend her. I go, offend her? It's a dude in a beard and a dress. No, I don't want any conflict.
Yeah, I'm not cool with
I
that.
said, I'm going to say something. She goes, no, I don't want to be that person. So finally she convinces me not to say something. But what do? I almost lecture her. I go, how are you comfortable with this? She ain't even trying. She has a beard. Looks like Rob's beard came out of the bathroom. And because she has long hair and a dress, you're just going to go for this? I said, what is wrong with you? I said, you need to do better. I'm going to say something. But the fact that you as the woman in the bathroom won't say anything is because you want to be nice. I just want to be nice. I go, I don't care about being nice. The right thing to do is say, dude, why are you in the bathroom with a beard with this girl?
This is what it came down to. Be really bothered.
Yeah.
Well, bathroom situation.
Doesn't it not bother you if your daughter was in a bathroom and a dude in a beard shows up?
Pat's bailing me out of jail. If I saw somebody coming out of the bathroom, he's bailing me out of jail.
So there's a difference between being nice and appeasing.
I get that.
America needs more organ donors.
It's our job as men to protect our women. That is our duty. It's our responsibility. So when I hear stuff like that, it really bothers me. But that's the dumb stuff that California does, a beautiful state that ran by a terrible politician who now Congress, House. You know how you guys are like, imagine if Trump wants to put tariffs through, and what do you say? Well, put it through Congress. Go ahead. Yeah. Now go be the governor of California. I want to put it through Congress. You got 48-4 now after gerrymandering. Women put it through Congress. Yeah. Nothing's going to pass through Congress. So California's got a bigger problem, and he's attacking JD. He knows what's going on, and he kind of doubled down. It's almost as if he attacked both of them here, Rob, right? I think he attacked JD and he attacked Rubio. Go ahead, Rob.
Talk about a guy who put a mask on and his face grew into it.
Yeah.
I mean, JD Vance and Marco Rubio were two of the most effective critics, just like that guy, what's his name, Graham, Lindsay, of Donald Trump. What frauds, what phonies. But JD's a unique fraud and phony, and he's a little more dangerous. And the folks around him, these are not folks that believe. I mean, listen to some of its biggest funders, the way they talk. There's a nihilism to the way they talk about the world. I know these guys. I literally know them, not figuratively.
You can pause it right there. Dude, listen, you know what the reality is? You're doing such a horrible job that even CNN puts you as the lead dog at 19%. And number 2 is Kamala at 17%. Number 3 is Pete Buttigieg, for whatever reason, he can't get the black male vote at 12%, 13%. And then number 4 is AOC. Just go to the poll, Rob, to show the poll instead of just watching the video. Look at that. 19, 18, 13, 12. How bad do you have to be Newsom that you don't have a flat-out You know, if there's ever been a time, if there's ever been a time that a center-left Democrat, Hollywood actor, former CEO of a massive bank that transacts, you know, tens of trillions of dollars per month, if there's ever been a time for somebody on the left that's a center leftist to run for president as a Democratic on the ticket, guess what? It is wide open. What Democrats are saying, they don't like Newsom, they don't like Harris, some people don't like Pete, and then AOC. I talked to, I don't know who I was talking, a Wall Street Journal guy calls me interviewing for whatever story he's doing it on. And I said to him, I said, you know, as crazy as things are right now, you know what is possible of happening? A progressive coming and winning. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Hey, listen, if this continues and you give 3 stories, say the affordability thing continues. Say, you know, what do you call it? Square block that just fired 4,000 people, and they're probably going to fire 2,000 more people, and they made 25%. And other companies follow lead, and they keep firing people like that. Do you know how many good stories you're going to have for a progressive? You know how great of a... By the way, 2027, 2028 will be a phenomenal chance for a progressive to win.
I agree.
Phenomenal chance. I wouldn't be surprised if an outsider progressive comes in, just like nobody thought Mamdani was going to win in, what do you call it, New York City, and he did. An AOC type of figure could come out and win. By the way, do you have that clip, Rob, that I saved of Bernie Sanders on what this one guy told him? This is, by the way, this, everybody needs to keep repeating this one line that Senator Mark Wayne Mullen said it. And by the way, Mark Wayne Mullen also ran up to Al Green to try to grab that, you know, the sign that he had, black people are not apes, or whatever the sign was that he was holding up. Watch what he says to Bernie Sanders here. And Bernie has nothing to say. Please play this beautiful clip.
Attack me, I'm going to respond. I'm pointing out facts. You can say what you want. I'm just pointing out facts. Anyways, I ranted too long. Let's talk about some...
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry, I didn't ask your opinion on that. And if I cared about your opinion, I would ask you. But I don't care about your opinion.
Well,
you're part of the system. You're part of the problem.
Listen,
you've been sitting here longer than I've even been alive. This is your problem. You should have fixed this a long time ago. No,
If you're so right, Mr. Sanders, you seem like a nice guy. 49 years or so you've been in. How come you haven't fixed these problems? How come you haven't? By the way, can you make a list of, Rob, who are the longest sitting senators and Congress folks that we have right now? Longest sitting. Who? Who are the longest sitting?
Who's the old?
Longest sitting, both sides, senators and congressmen today. You ready? Here's what they're in.
Chuck Grassley.
How many years? 45 years. McConnell, 40 years. Patty Murray since 93. Ron Wyden, 96. Dick Durbin, 97. Hal Rogers, 44. Chris Smith, Marcy. How long has Bernie been in there, by the way? How long has Bernie been in there? I'm just curious.
Under them.
Bernie's 38, 36, 35. What's the number? He's got to be up there. How long has Bernie been in there? All 35 years. You guys have the least amount of credibility to tell anybody what to do.
Oh, my God.
You've been working at a company for 35 years and you don't solve a problem. You know, if you don't do it within the first 90 days, you're fired.
Okay.
Here, you have a job for 35 years. But I'm telling you, don't be surprised if an outsider progressive comes out. But if there's any of these Hollywood guys that are aspirationals that want to put their name in there and compete, start going out there and hiring the right 5, 6, 7 people around you. Get the right consulting firm to get your guy prepped. Do the background checks. Go through the whole process. Check the Epstein files to make sure they're not on there. Check every one of these files to see where they're at. There's a wide open opportunity in 2028 for the Democratic ticket because Newsom simply sucks that much that he can't get more than 19%. No one, even on his own side, trusts him. No one, even on his own side, trusts him, even though he's the lead guy. And Pritzker isn't even on that list. Now, I know, Tom, you thought Pritzker was going to be the guy. He's not even on that list. Anyways.
Ozempic didn't help him at all.
I think he's still there. At this point, just real quick on history, we'll go on. I will not distract here, Pat. At this time in history, ladies and gentlemen, there is usually a 25 to 30% clear leader. Al Gore was that leader. Joe Biden was that leader. Hillary Clinton was that leader, where everybody says, well, midterms are here, but that's our number one. And it's very clear. And right now it's not. Yeah. He goes to Geneva. He goes overseas. He goes to the World Economic
one cares. It's not
Davos,
helping him.
and he can't get above 19%.
It's not helping him.
Although I like a combination of AOC and Kamala Harris, right?
Oh, I love that.
The drunk and the bartender. It's perfect. Brought to you by Stolichnaya.
Brought to you by what?
Stolichnaya vodka.
Oh, Stolichnaya vodka.
Stolichnaya.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next story. Thanks, Tom. Tom's comedy. I mean, he's performing tonight, guys. If you guys want to go to a local comedy club, Tom's going to be performing for you. Requirement for those of you guys to come to his show, you have to have an MBA to understand his jokes because it's only for educated people.
Let me help you out here, Tom.
Yeah, it's only for the educated people. All right, let's go to the next one.
At least that helps.
Next story I want to go to. I got two stories I'm going to do, and I'm going to wrap up. Next story I'm going to go to is think having children will make you happier? Think again. Telegraph is telling you.
Telegraph.
You got to think twice about it, you people who want to have more children. So let's listen to what Telegraph has to say. And you know whose story this is? I picked this, but Adam wants to talk about it. So Adam, I'm coming to you first. Here we go.
That's right.
Getting married and having children has been long been considered the cornerstone of a good life, or simply the dumb thing. Yet around the world, women are choosing to have fewer children, and there is no consensus on why. In England and Wales, fertility rates have sunken to the lowest level on record at 1.41 children per woman, well below the replacement rate of 2.1. This clearly brings challenges for society. The most obvious is for public finances. If fewer future taxpayers are born, who will pay the public services? There was a study done. Parents tend to fare a little bit worse on life satisfaction than those without children. What a crock of shit. Rob, can you pull up this person here? Ansgar Houdet. Can you go find German sociologist?
Oh,
yeah,
great.
okay. Go to his profile.
That was tough.
I want to know how many kids he's got. How many kids does he have? Can you find out if he's got any kids? Let's find out if you know who he looks like? Wow, that's
Looks like a bobblehead. He looks like a bobblehead.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
Wow, you know, he looks like I don't want to say, he looks terrible in that picture. Dude, you got to change listen, respectfully, that head is too big for those shoulders. That looks like that was AI. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Whoever took the picture, cut it from crop it. Can we?
It looks like Japanese AI, a super deformed character.
No, we can't show a picture like that. Let me fix this picture real quick. This is embarrassing. We have to help this guy out. I was about to take shots at this guy. Now I want to help him out. Look, publicly, what's his name? Ansgar what?
Ansgar
Houdet.
Hadi.
Like and what does he say? Does he have any kids or no?
It says can't find any credible public biographical information confirming whether or not he has children.
Can't find anything, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's the problem with people like you, and you're allegedly a doctor. But let me read this to you. Okay. He has studied the experience of 43,000 people across 30 European countries, including UK, to understand how parenthood affects happiness. When asked how satisfied people feel with their lives, parents on average tend to feel slightly worse than their child-free peers. However, much also depends on your circumstances. The more challenging the overall circumstance, the worse having a child is for you, your well-being, being a single parent, having a lower socioeconomic class, and lower education. Okay, all right, buddy. Good for you. Adam, thoughts? I'm going to do some editing here on this picture and fix it.
So this may take a second, Pat, so just bear with me.
Oh, my God.
The biggest lie that people in society have been told is the lie of modern feminism, and I'll double down on that. Because, this guy, he said this is based on a survey. Let me tell you what I'm basing this on. My life, feelings, what I've seen. I see what's going on here. So there's a big difference between men and women. Look, I've been very, there it is, Benny. You can't get pregnant. I don't care what they say. Stop chest feeding. It's not going to happen. But look, I've partied enough for 10 lifetimes. I've been very open about that. I've been all the parties. I've been all the yachts. I've been all the mansions. I've been all the trips. I've done it all.
You've been with millionaires and billionaires?
Millionaires and billionaires. I've been with the women. I've done all that.
Got it.
The only thing I haven't done is genuinely have a family with kids. So that's what I'm solving for now. And you might say, Adam, you're 45. Is it too late? Not even close, bro. I know plenty of men who have basically landed that plane in their 40s, some in their 50s. How old were you when you had your first daughter? How old were you?
Oh, Bailey, I was 44.
Okay, there you go. So the challenge is, if you're a woman.
Listen, look, guys, let me do this. For those of you guys that are sick and tired of Adam always taking shots at Tom, Can you send Tom a message and tell him how amazing he's looking lately with all the Stefano Ricci suits he's been wearing?
Suit. Look at
Honestly.
this. What is that?
When we in Vegas, we're walking around. Facts. You ready?
Tell him.
I almost don't want to tell him.
No, Kim's not gonna. She understands.
Guys,
she gets it.
I stand this way because I have to stiff arm this way. Vinny stands this way.
Yep.
Rob is in the back with Adam. Girls are running it. We can't let that happen. We have to protect them. So if you love Tom and you don't like Adam bullying Tom with his age, why don't you send him a neck to Tom and tell him how amazing he looks? Go ahead, Adam.
No, you should have seen
please.
it. You should have seen it. We're walking down there. These women are throwing,
Tom,
throwing
you don't
underwear.
need to add anything else to it. When we do it, just leave it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Adam.
Tom,
girls are
let
crying.
people hype you up. You don't need to be the hype man for yourself.
Yeah, that's.
By the way, there's plenty of times where I make fun of Tom's age. This is not one of those times. This is where I'm advocating that Tom took time to become a man of status, of valor. You think so, PBD? I wouldn't do that to Tom, Pat.
Well, listen, we're going to see. But go ahead. Keep going.
So I'm at the White House the other day.
Here we go.
And I'm
Here we
having a
go.
conversation with a beautiful woman in her 40s. And she says, what do you want to talk about? She's interviewing me. And I said, I could talk about whatever. I could talk politics. I could talk business.
Are you going to give a shout out to like 7 people right now?
I mean, Pat.
Shout them out. Go ahead.
You want to know what my point is? How can I get to my point if you keep interrupting me, sir?
Shout out to your
I'm
point.
I don't appreciate you bullying Tom.
speaking.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kamala.
I don't know if we have that kind of time.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
at the White House and I'm
Yeah.
speaking with this woman,
Yep.
and she says, let's talk about dating in the marketplace. And I go on this rant about how the number one thing that men want in their life,
Yeah.
even you could pull up this poll, I think it was a Pew poll, still to this day, young men want to get married and have a kid.
Yeah.
Was that not number one,
Yeah.
Pat? And then they said women, where does that rank on the list? Married and
Conservative
having a kid.
males. Conservative males.
Sure.
Conservative young males want to get married.
Liberal males are called gays.
Yeah. No. But conservative young males do want to get married and have
Yes.
kids. It's at the top
And
of the
where was
priority.
it at for women?
Low.
It was number 12.
Yeah, low.
So there's a huge schism between what men want and what women want. But to my friends out there, ladies, this is how it's going to end up on you. Here's how men operate. You tell me if this works.
Yeah.
Men want to make money. Why do we have nice houses, nice cars, nice clothes, nice jewelry? Not to impress other dudes. You think I care about impressing these guys over here? Men do this to impress women. So men want to actively acquire dependents. You know when you do your tax forms?
Yeah.
And they go, how many dependents you have? Pat, how many dependents do you have?
Okay.
5.
Okay.
You have 4 kids, you have Jen. These are your dependents.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Women want to make money to do what? Be independent. I don't need no man. I got my own money. Well, here's how that story ends. And if you believe this 40-something-year-old beautiful woman, she goes, I'm dying to have a kid. I'm dying to have a family. And I fear that it's too late for me. What do you think? I go, sweetheart, it very well may be. You're in your 40s. Your prime is gone from you. You better hit a Kobe Bryant last second shot clock if you're gonna have a kid.
You told her that?
Did you? Yeah. And she goes, "You're right. You're right."
She starts crying?
I mean, she was.
Is
sad.
that like a pickup line?
No, it was
Like,
not a
we
pickup
got-
line, Pat. PBD. I'm trying to tell a story here, sir.
I'm
So there's
really
more women-
trying to follow where you're going with this.
Well,
But
if
go
you
ahead.
Stopped interrupting me, sir. I'd be done with the story.
Hey, keep going, Adam.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can't get over the top.
But there's more women than ever freezing their eggs. There's more women than ever considering having a baby alone. Imagine that.
How do you do that?
They have an egg.
Yeah.
They have an embryo. They put the sperm in, and they have a baby.
Let me tell you.
And there's no man around. And this, unfortunately, is the future for women. And then I'll land the plane here.
Land it.
I've interviewed all types of people. What is
Glass of wine and a turkey
when we
baster.
interviewed, Tom, I just was trying to be nice to you. Don't make me do this to you now. Thank you, sir.
We're going off the rails here.
Go ahead.
Going off the rails.
PBD, when we interviewed Tate,
Yeah.
what's the one concept, the one thing he goes, you really want me to go to jail? You really want it canceled? What was the one topic he didn't want to talk about?
Women.
Women and feminism.
Yeah.
Because this is the one thing you can't talk about. The bottom line is this. Women have been fed a complete crock of crap that they don't need no man, that they don't need to get married, that they don't need to have no kids. And what's going to happen is they're going to turn 40 and they're going to realize, wow, it's all been a lie. You know, I had a very public issue with Chelsea Handler. I'll go 10 toes down deep on you. Ladies, you do not want to end up like Chelsea Handler. A bitter 50-year-old woman that's still clinging to the jokes that were funny 30 years ago. It ain't cute anymore, Chelsea, with your newest facelift. So men can take longer to marinate. So the young men out there, if you're in your 20s and your 30s and you haven't figured it out and you're not getting laid and you haven't found a woman, give it some time. For the women in their 20s and 30s that think that they're going to give it some time and figure it out, the sad news is you're not. And that's the bottom line. That's the
And that-
sad truth of reality. And I don't care what anybody says. Men and women are different. Men are going to take time
Tom,
to marinate
is there
and find
anything
status.
you want
Women
to
don't waste your
say?
youth.
Tom.
Is there anything you want to say? Because I got a few things I want to say. But
I think
before
you're
you
going to say what I'm
anything-
going to say.
Before you say anything, I want to show what's important because I always like to keep my commitments. Rob, can you please show our friend here what we did for him? So show the before picture. So look, that's a nice picture. Use that when you have small shoulders. Use a picture like that. But if you do at no cost, by the way, don't worry about selling or sending any kind of money. Go to the next slide, Rob, if you could. So that's a good picture he should use. That actually looks good. This angle's a good angle for him. Nice symmetry with his nose kind of twisted to the right a little because mine's going to the left. And then you see the ears, the eyebrows, beautiful eyes. But then look what we did. Here's what we did. Go to the next one, Rob, if you could. See? The left
getting
picture, better shoulders.
Yeah.
The right one, not exactly. And if you really want to go to it, go ahead, Rob. If you really want to go to it, like
what they did.
we can. But there's a lot of different things we could do.
Looks like
But
Brandon.
he does look like Brandon. Anyway,
The shoulders.
Does he have autism too?
look, here's what I will tell you, man. Be very careful who you take advice from.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! Today's social media. I watch some of these guys talk in such a certain way, and then go to the proof. What's life look like? You know, I met a guy the other day who has 11 kids. I think his name is Moshe.
Yeah, my boy
Him and his
Moshe.
wife got married in the
Yeah.
early 20s. Okay, and they have 11 kids, no twins, and she had them all herself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shout out.
incredible
Old school.
story, incredible family. What's the lady's name? What's her name?
That's Yafa. Moshe and Yafa.
I don't know
11
Yafa
kids.
who you are. Congratulations. We need to turn people like that into heroes. Yafa, whoever you are, credit to you, right, for carrying and having 11 kids. So to me, I looked at the numbers here. Do you know in the history of America, we had 3.6 million kids born last year in 2025, okay? Adam, do you want to know, with 340 million kids, we had 3.6 million kids born last year.
With 300, so we had 340
With 340 million people in America, we had 3.6 million kids born.
So just over
in
1%.
1950, what's the population, Rob, in 1950? What's U.S. population in 1950? I think it's 180 or something like that. What's U.S. population in 1950? It should be like 150 to 180. Okay.
Wow.
With 151 million kids, we had 3.6 million kids.
Wow.
In
Well, that was
1950.
during the baby boom.
Stay with me here.
Yes.
Do you know 3 times in the history of America, we went on a run where Americans had 4 million plus kids every year. One time we did 5 years in a row. One time we did 7 years in a row. One time we did 11 years in a row. Okay? And the highest we've ever done is like 4.23 million kids. 4.23 million kids. And we went through a list of why we think this is taking place. Do you know the craziest number about 1950 versus today?
What's that?
In 1950, I think we were doing 3.75 kids or 3.57 kids birth rate. Today it's 1.58. But in 1950, only 35% of women were in the workforce. Today it's 70%
Bingo.
that are in the workforce.
Yeah.
35, let me finish.
No, I'm
35, 70%. You know what my challenge is? Last time we're having dinner with these 3 guys. And Blake is sitting next to me. Model-looking guy with his beautiful wife. I saw the wife at the church the other day while I went to the tiny dancer thing. Now, let me show you guys something, guys. Can I brag a little bit? Can I brag just a little bit? I'm trying to see if I can even show this video or not.
Tiny dancer.
I'll show you right now. So, you know what I told him? I said, listen, man, whatever you do, go have another one. Go have another one. Go have another one. I said, listen, if my wife right now said she's open to the idea of another one, I'm canceling the plans in Vegas and I'm traveling back home just to have another one. Wow. The idea of having a child, it is honestly, God's given me so many gifts. God's given you so many gifts. The viewers that you're listening, God's given you so many gifts. Even if life sucks, man, if you really think about it, make a list of things to be grateful for. Even after you got fired and you just filed a bankruptcy and your wife left you, you still have a lot of things to be grateful for. Trust me, life is amazing. It sucks at times, but life is amazing. As crazy as it is for everything I've experienced, okay, Rob, I'm going to send this to you, Rob. As crazy as it is, this one little look here is everything. This one little look here. One little look here that you get when you go to church,
Brooklyn.
and she's doing what do you call it? She's doing
There it is.
She's doing something. Look what she's doing and who she's looking at.
Look at her in the middle.
Look at her face.
Look at her.
Is that Brooklyn? Hey!
Look at her.
I love Brooklyn.
She's my favorite. Look at her. Though.
She's the one
That
with the pink
look-
dress in the middle, guys.
I am the happiest man
She's so cute.
alive with that look. I am the happiest man alive when she just makes that look. Look at that look.
Look at
Bingo. Oh,
it looks like a little mini Dylan, I swear.
So to me, this idea about having kids, the sooner you can start, better for you. Of course, find a good partner. Don't just go screw around and just say, I'm just going to have a kid just to have a kid, and that's all I'm going to be doing. You know, we were talking about a guy that I met him the first time with his wife. That marriage didn't work out, so he got another girl pregnant, and that relationship didn't work out. Then you have to take care of that kid. Then there's that person in your life. Then you have to marry somebody else. Then you have to do this. Baby mama drama and all that noise that you're creating in your life. You have to find a way to do it the right way, folks. And remember, just because somebody's overly confident and convincing doesn't mean they're right, okay? It doesn't mean they're right. Look at people with what life gets results. That's a peaceful life. And by the way, you can still get married and it could not work out. You can still have kids and it could be painful. It's going to be challenging. But there's not a better feeling. All my accomplishments I've had in my life, whatever the accomplishments that some people may be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. I have my biggest accomplishments are these 4 kids. Greatest gift God ever gave me. I don't have a better gift than that. And by the way, I tell you, of course, my wife is within that family because we made these kids together. Okay, so the love is equal there. But the gift that we got, the houses, the travels, the meetings, the money, nothing comes close to those 4 gifts God gave you. So whoever this guy is, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, okay? And by the way, I don't even know. I'd like to know, like if somebody says stat like that, I want to know, are you part of the LGBTQ community? Probably. Are you? If you're gay and saying stats like that, what do you think? How was your upbringing? What was your family like? What was your mom and dad like? What was your relationship like? We don't know these stories. We don't. So this is me talking from my opinion on what I think on having kids. If you're able to do it, life-changing. So I want to play this next clip, and Tom, I'm going to come to you first. Here's Tom Brady. Tom Brady, when it comes down to talking about father, there's one interview that he once did where a guy asked him a question, and the question was, who's your hero? And Rob, I don't know if you have that one or not. I haven't sent it to you, so if you find it, it's not on you. I didn't send it to you. He's being interviewed in a Super Bowl, and he asked, who is your hero? And I've seen this thing hundreds of times. It's that one right there. Can you pause it real quick? So imagine this is the greatest quarterback of all time. He is one of the most incredible competitors of all time, obsessive personality, paying attention to details. Nobody puts more pressure on him than himself. Comes from an amazing family of a bunch of sisters. I think it's 3 of them. Great mom and dad. He's being asked at the Super Bowl by another kid, who's your hero? Look at the reaction.
Who's my hero? It's a great question. Well, I think my dad is my hero because he's someone that I look up to every day. And my dad.
Can you?
He didn't have to say anything.
He didn't have to say anything.
Saw it
when you
all
see
in
that,
his
right?
eyes.
Friggin'
Oh, wow.
So now watch what happens when you raise a family with love and tough love. In this example, he talks about how children only grow outside of their comfort zone. So don't get it twisted. Love isn't like, oh my God, you can never my little Johnny would never make a mistake. Oh, no, they would make a mistake. And they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And they're going to make a lot of things that are going to be dumb. And, you're going to have to come to their defense at times. But sometimes they're going to be screwing up and, where it is something they did wrong. But watch how he explains your tough love from a parent. And, Tom, I want to come to you with this one. Go ahead, Rob.
Most people don't want to be pushed that hard.
Yeah.
They want to be pushed to their level of comfort.
Yep.
And once they're outside their comfort zone, they're like, oh, I'm not used to this. Oh, I don't like this. My heart's beating too fast. Or, man, I'm feeling different feelings and emotions. And it's like, that's where the growth lives. You need coaches that push you outside of your comfort zone because that's how you grow and that's how you begin to develop self-confidence and self-esteem in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You try, you fail. They push you to deal with the failure. You get another chance to go out and practice it. Then you succeed and you realize, oh, that's what I need to do differently the next time. Mm-hmm. As opposed to the athletes who try something that's hard, they fail, and now it discourages them from trying the same thing that's hard again.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Bulletproof mindset. Tom, thoughts? Your daughter's a competitive swimmer, so that's why I'm coming to you.
Yeah, I've You know, it's really funny. You could have the same parents and you have kids that are very different in their own way and their own uniqueness. And that uniqueness is just the God-given beauty of the fingerprint of each kid that's there. But I have one who's very, I don't know which one's more competitive, like deep in their heart, but I know which one's more competitive out there on her sleeve. So I got one of them that's really, really competitive, and she knows that you got to keep working on it. You got to keep working on it. And she's got this little thing. It's like strong on land, fast on the water. And so she's going to workouts. She's doing stuff, and she understands the sacrifices. And I think one of the things was, you know, setting a vision for them. You know, setting a vision for your kids and putting it out there. And I told Bailey early on, I said, you know, your GPA, you know, extra credit things, you know, captain of a team, doing the yearbook, add all that up, and you're building this resume for life. And that way you can go and you can choose what you want to do out in the future. Or other people can choose it for you. And you got to but guess what? There's people out there that want it, and somebody wants it more than you want it. And that creates competition. But you have to give them the love and support, but you don't insulate them from consequences. It drives me nuts. You know, when I was growing up, it was a different world. And my mom would just say, hey, before the sun comes down, you be back home. And I was on my bike down 2 doors down with my buddies, and that was it. Now everybody worries about their kids. They want to, it's like when I go to the ocean, I see kids with these little slippers to walk in the ocean, you know what I'm talking about, and water wings and a life jacket. And I said, look, if they're not ready for the ocean, they should be learning to swim at a public pool with a teacher or something somewhere. They shouldn't be in the ocean. But why are they got water wings and a life jacket like they're about to jump off a cruise ship that's listing? That's ridiculous to me. You got to give them room to try and room to fail. And we protect everybody from emotions. And Tom Brady's exactly right. He is so correct. Set the challenges out and, you know, be there to help them, be there to encourage them.
And I'm the power of parents, Pat. I get to see it firsthand with you with what you're doing with Dylan, Tico, Brooklyn, and Senate live. So it's like a training manual that I've had for the 3 years that I've been here. And we talked about sometimes like you need a good father, you need a good family, but sometimes when the father's not there, like with me, he was there, but he wasn't there. And then once he's gone, a strong mother who steps up, Pat, how important, like my mom stepped up, took the torch, and ran. You know, I can't tell you.
She's an angel.
Pat, as you were playing that, my mom messaged me and said, Vinny, what adoring Brooklyn? She goes, I had that feeling when you were winning the trumpet awards when I was young. I won the Conrad Galzo Award at such a level. She just messed Tom. My mom, and I'm telling you right now, the importance of not giving up and going there. When I called, well, I'm going to the military. I'm doing this. Mom, I'm leaving. I'm going to go be an actor. She's like, do it. I'm in California, and I feel like my world's coming to an end. I'm losing friends to drugs and everything. I go, Mom, I met this guy on Instagram, Patrick Bedev. She goes, Surayele, he's a Syrian. Go. Take the leap of faith. Go and do it. You need those people. And I know sometimes there's exceptions to the rule. People that, the adopted people that go and they do it. But having that support and having that love, I think is so important. Seeing Brooklyn look at you like that feeling for people that don't have kids makes me like, okay, I need to step up because you need to have it. And that's it. And my mom's watching right now. So Mom, I love you.
Sweet Lana, we love you.
She's
By the way,
watching. She's
PBD.
right now.
More dessert. More dessert, Mom.
By the way, she goes, don't cry, Mom. She just messaged me. Don't cry.
Pat, can I put a ribbon on this?
Yeah, of course.
I think you're going to appreciate this.
Go for it.
So we're talking about Tom Brady, who's the freaking GOAT. I love Tom Brady. And you're talking about kids. There's a special kid out there that's a sick athlete. His name is Dylan Bet David. Here's some video, some footage of Tom Brady throwing the football with Dylan Bet David running routes. Oh, he said.
No, play it back so they can see what he does. He corrects him in front of everybody.
yeah.
This is a perfect example.
Post.
Hit him, Dylan. Says, learn your lessons, young man.
See, this is a perfect example of Tom.
Yeah. That's right. By the way, I think there's one more video. By the way, he had PBD run a route.
It's not PBD.
Yeah, he says, when are you going to run a route? I'm like,
and then
what do you
PBD
mean?
run a route
Do you have that one or no?
I'll try to find that
I
one.
think you do run a route. Actually.
What's this
By the way,
one right
Tico
here?
also ran a route.
Is this
Yeah,
it?
But Tico's a brainiac.
I think. Oh,
Tico
okay,
also
hold
caught
on.
the ball, by the way, when they're
That's
playing.
true.
They're playing catch right
Got
there,
a
throwing the
rifle.
ball.
PBD, what do you think, man? What do you think?
Imagine Billy.
I think he throws it better than me. How's that?
Goat stuff right here.
All right, let's see what you got, Billy. Was this 24 or 23?
This was
23. I think. Yeah. Anyway, so go
September
ahead.
1st, 2023.
Go for it. Go for it, Adam. If you want to put the ribbon.
No, this was it. This was amazing. A moment. I mean, listen, Tom Brady's the GOAT. And the fact that you're talking life lessons, you're talking Dylan, you're talking what it's like to be a father. I mean, Tom Brady is incredible. I'll say this. You know, I interview a lot of my friends, like my buddies, and I go, all right, guys, tell me what it's all about. They go, Adam, let me tell you something. It's all about the kids. They go, yeah, of course I love my wife. I love my wife to death. Of course I love my wife. She's the best. But it's all about the kids. I go, give me the real stuff. They go, it's all about the kids. You know what no married men with kids say? They go, dude, just get married. Be with one woman the rest of your life. Don't even worry about kids. You don't need kids. They do nothing for you. Never have them. They always say it's all about the kids. So I believe the people with kids telling me about the kids versus some weird LGBT dude in,
He's not,
in London.
He's not LGBT.
Whatever he is or whatever he may be, I trust the people that have kids to give me the insight versus.
Is
the
he
kids that
LGBT?
don't. It doesn't even matter to me. The
can't
fact that he
tell.
doesn't have kids is the fact that.
The fact that he doesn't have shoulders. I don't.
Oh, here, hold on. Here's PBD running a route. Which one's this?
Oh, this guy.
Part of me doesn't
Oh,
want
where'd you get this one?
No, I'm
PBD?
telling you, part of me doesn't want to show this. I don't want to get a call from the Raiders. I don't want to be like, listen, go ahead,
Yeah,
Rob. Just
here
show it.
we
It's
go.
okay. It's
You would
okay.
be a hell of
I
a
don't want
tight
you to
end.
leave.
Watch this.
They don't play defense on me? Both of you guys?
Look at you picking on the young.
Shauna's in the back.
I love. Look at Gabriel. Look at Gabriel in the back.
How small Sean.
Gabriel Schlameloch.
With a suit. Let's see if we can
Brady
catch
to
it.
bet David right here.
I'm ready. Say hi.
Look at this guy.
Oh, we got him.
Nice. All right. Guys, I'm gonna represent you, pal. I'll be your agent for the Raiders.
Let me just say one thing.
On behalf of the Oakland Raiders, who I've suffered with for years, that's better than anything we got. I'd like to give you an invitation to training camp.
Yes.
I would
Pat,
not.
is there any cooler feeling than guys getting together, goats, you, Brady, the kids, throwing the football? We could say we love women and going out. There's no cooler feeling than the boys hanging out, tossing the
It's good.
football like that.
It's good.
Good
Okay,
for them.
Rob, do we want to do the Iran story or do we want to do the Tom, I'm going to come to you with the Iran story because there's a lot of stuff that's going on with that just came out. I think Witkoff, is that the one that's in the story, Rob? Or
Yes, they met yesterday and spoke for hours. Looks like no nuclear deal has been reached.
no nuclear deal has been reached. That's page 26. And then not only did no nuclear deals reach, but there was a lot more than that. So when Iran, which one is it that says they went to it? Viewing, there it is. Viewing the satellite imagery and monitoring the Iranian nuclear sites, we don't see any evidence that they are trying to reconstitute their nuclear weapon program, said David Albright, a former United Nations weapons inspector, president of Institute of Science. They are essentially on hold. Steve Witkoff, the U.S. negotiator, told Fox News that Iran is probably a week away from having industrial-grade bomb-making material. That assessment would imply that a significant part of Iran's uranium enrichment capability survived last year's strikes, and that Iran can also still access some of its enriched uranium stockpiles, which were believed to have been buried under rubble last June. Many analysts are skeptical that Iran could easily do so at the bombed facilities. While this is going on, there's a couple things. Iran reportedly turns to Communist China to checkmate U.S. On top of that, a tweet Mario Nafal just sent that. I don't know if it's Mario Nafal or if it's somebody else, Rob. I just sent it to you a minute ago. Not a minute ago, probably 30 minutes ago, reporting that, do you see it? This
Right
one
here. Marco Rubio?
You have that one? Yeah, Marco Rubio. Just in, Secretary Marco Rubio, State Department is authorizing evacuation of non-emergency U.S. personnel and their family from Israel because of safety risks, and China is also evacuating their people from Iran. So if they're both on the same page, do you think there's been a call between the two of them together? Hey, are you guys, like, if China's leaving as well, then that means China and U.S. are on the same team with this. if that's what's taking place. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. If they seem like they're being teammates here on leaving. And I don't know. Obviously, some things change with tariffs. So China's probably sitting in a better place with the tariffs that was, changed due to Supreme Court. But Tom, what do you think is happening here?
I think there's two things happening. The first thing that's happening is Witkoff and Jared Kushner have been there, and 3 times they've been through it. 3 times they're doing. It's a little bit of window dressing. They know that that the simple thing, you must stop weapons grade creation forever. People say, well, what about nuclear energy? Number one, you've got more natural gas than God. You don't need nuclear energy, but nuclear energy is made with different materials that are prepared differently that can be prepared above ground and new small footprint efficient reactors. Okay, what's your next excuse? I'm just not going to give it up. And I think that they've negotiated 3 times in the last week, Pat. They've given it up, and we've pulled everything in there. And Midnight Hammer at the time, you guys remember, hold me honest on, not hold me honest, but make sure
I'll hold you, period.
No,
Hold him.
thank
Hold him
you.
tight.
Just check me on this, on the history.
gonna
There
check
were analysts out there, defense analysts, like people from Janes, that said that Operation Midnight Hammer may not have done as much damage as we thought it did. And that did we beat the crap out of some stuff in some facilities? Yes. But did we get down deep enough to really get to things? Maybe not. And so now it looks like there's intelligence that says, hey, we can do it. And so I think we've got everything lined up, Pat, and I think we're going to strike. And I think they're going to hit the facilities. There's 3 separate locations that are targeted. We've got all of the advanced tactical, and help me out. What is the name of the Air Force base that the U.S. uses in northern Israel? It's where there's like 15, 20 of our advanced tactical fighters there. The USS Gerald Ford has moved. And so there's 3 angles of attack here. And you've also got the big high altitude bombers sitting on Diego Garcia getting ready to go with all the refueling. So you can see 3 punches there ready to be thrown. And I think everybody knew, Pat, that Iran was not going to give up this number 1 request. Never do it again.
Is it the Ramat?
Yep, Ramat Air Force Base is where they put all the advanced fighters.
Bingo.
I think they knew it, Pat, that Iran was not going to say, you can never develop a bomb. I don't think they were ever going to give that up.
While this is happening, Hezbollah allegedly says won't intervene if U.S. strikes Iran. Group says. But it does have a red line. What the hell do you mean you won't intervene? You're funded by Iran. What do you mean you won't intervene?
Can I translate that?
Yeah.
We're all running to Lebanon. Please don't kick our ass on the way to do an errand in Iran.
Right. And then at the same time, Khamenei is having meetings with his leaders, allegedly, and his leaders are having to be blindfolded to walk into a tunnel, like an underground location, to see him have a conversation with them, just so you don't know where you're walking and where you're being transported.
So they don't rat on him.
So if you're captured later and you get something injected into you courtesy of the pharmaceutical industry, and you start talking about everything you know.
Can I ask you a question, though, Pat? Like, if correct me if I'm wrong, we did the bombing, we did bunker busters, everything, everybody was going crazy, World War III, okay, done. Now, again, they're trying to build or nuke or whatever, so we're going to bomb them again, but I thought the mission was the people, the 40,000 that were dead in the streets, the mission was to help the people, get rid of the leader, and like bombing the nuclear site, okay, I understand that, that's very important, but the mission is the people that are dying, that are still dying in the streets, the people that are in the prisons right now that are getting tortured and killed. I thought that was the mission. So I'm kind of confused that,
you're asking a question that a lot of people are asking, and what a lot of other people are saying is, hey, this sounds like there's weapons of mass destruction.
Yep.
Sounds like that script a little bit, and that criticism is a fair criticism to give. Because there's an audience that voted for no wars. So, and they, by the way, they have the right to be as critical as they want, but at the same time, if they do it and it's a surgical mission like they did with Venezuela, Trump's administration also gains a lot of respect for doing it that way. So, we'll see. Rachel Campos Duffy did say something which was very interesting this morning. She said about Trump's getting a little too cozy with communist Delcy Rodriguez. And she says she can't be trusted. Every time Trump, watch this, every time, right, is that the clip?
Yes, sir.
Can you play that clip and go to the last 30 seconds? Play it from right there. Go for it.
Come on, Lord. fucked up.
Oh, we have issues with that. Okay. So she says every time Trump mentions her.
Situation with the Chinese. One last thing. I am coming to you right now from Miami. Every time President Trump says, I'm working well with Dorsey Rodriguez. Every time he says that, he drops 5 points here in Miami.
Think about that.
Where people hate the communists and know exactly what this is about. We need to stabilize, yes, but we need to announce an election date and get to an election, because that's how we actually have freedom and security in the Western Hemisphere.
I agree. So meaning if they're going to do this Iran thing and the elections in Iran are not going to be quick or fast, another regime is going to come in and take over.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't want.
So, but at the same time, listen, this is the risk of diplomacy. This is the risk of war. This is the risk of politics. This is the risk of being a president. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, of course. Well, taking out Iran and the Ayatollah is America first. How could I say that? What does that mean? Because if you're only a surface level thinker, then you're not going to agree with me. What do you mean? You're just trying to get us in more wars. Nobody wants war. But you know the iceberg effect, where you only see the top 10% of the iceberg, but the 90% is below? Let me walk you through this right now. So nuclear weapons. Hey, how you doing, Maral?
I love your
nuclear weapons, of course. We've been talking about that forever.
So fun.
That's the surface level. Okay, what's going on? There's 40,000, 80,000 Iranians killed. Okay, that's what's going on there. Here's what we do know. Iran fears Israel more than they do the United States, because Israel has taken out all their proxies. And if we just look at history, Israel has done more to affect Iran than the United States. It's kind of like Israel will beat them up in the fight, and the United States comes in the 10th round and knocks them out. So you should be worried about what Israel's doing. So beyond that, why is taking out Iran America first? The deepest level is, if you take out Iran, who gets affected the most? Our greatest enemies, China and Russia. Because who fuels all of China's economy? Venezuela and Iran, the oil. So if we take over Venezuela's oil, which we've done, essentially, if we somehow replace the regime in Iran, China will get weaker. So our greatest foe or competitor or enemy, whatever you want to call them, is China. But before you beat the final boss, like in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you got to beat Don Flamenco, and you got to beat the Hippo, you got to beat these guys, and then you get to the final boss. So, and then here's the funniest thing about China. They're so aligned with Iran. They're so aligned with the Muslim world. Do you see what China is doing to Muslims in China? They're putting them in camps, these Uyghurs. I think, fact check me on this, I think China has called Islam a mental disease. By the way, China is anti-religion. The Communist Party does not mean religion. So it's all this duct tape diplomacy. All our enemies, their only thing bonding them together is that they want to bring down America and the West. And what does Iran call America? The great Satan, Israel, the little Satan. They also say death to America, death to Israel, death to England. All our enemies have this duct tape diplomacy, and their only common bond is they want to take down America. If we can stay together and stay strong and not stay divided, we'll defeat these horrible enemies of ours.
It's a very high level of uncertainty of what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. I have a very simple philosophy. I'm rooting for us to succeed on this mission. And I do believe Iran, the current regime, the IRGC, is horrible for the world, horrible for everybody, period. The way they treat their people, absolutely horrendous what they do. The world is a better place if they fall. Having said that, what is today, Rob? Today is Friday. Today's Friday.
Didn't even speed on the
What do we have coming up? By the way, I had a conversation with Terrence Howard yesterday. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. Guys, he said some stuff about Denzel. He said some stuff about, we talked about Epstein. He talked about the girl. He talked about so many interesting things. That podcast is going to come out next week. Yes, and then what else do we have coming out next week?
Joe Lonsdale as well.
Oh, one of the co-founders of Palantir. Yes. Yeah, billionaire. And that's going to come out next week. But in the interim, whatever you're doing, gang, have an incredible weekend coming up. And again, do not forget that this bullying needs to stop. I mean, seriously, it needs to stop. So if you want the bullying to stop, send a message to Tom for him to, get some, and if you want to criticize Adam about how much bullying he's doing, send a message to him as well. And Team USA, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend.
Vegas, baby!